You're about to listen to TADPOG. Tyler and Dave play old games. It's a comedy video game podcast. We would like to stress that the hosts are not experts and are really just very crass commentators. Seriously, this is an explicit podcast that happens to talk about video games sometimes. So please enjoy this pretty okay podcast with Tyler and Dave.
Hello, Internet.
Hello.
Welcome to a podcast where four guys silently contemplate the meaning of life after watching a brutal movie.
Yeah. So, not exactly the fun, action-y.
We all kind of just walked in here in silence and sat down and started setting it up.
Requiem for a Dream on the NES by Activision.
Yes.
The
Press B to go ass to ass.
The Elephant Man for NES. Press B to say I am not an animal.
Still can't believe they made a game, an NES game out of this movie.
Yeah.
Kind of
Weird.
Yeah, it's a weird call,
choice.
man.
Because we're talking about the game in the movie for Platoon on the NES.
What year did
I played
game...
Splatoon for the Wii. With the Switch, I mean the Wii.
So you had a lot more fun. You had a lot more fun than we did.
No, same. It's just same thing, but with paint. Exactly.
Yeah, when did this game come out? Like,
1988.
88. Okay, so
have
like a
notes.
couple of years after the movie.
88.
Yeah, 88 for the Commodore 64.
I keep thinking the movie was 86, but I can't remember.
And then Sunsoft did a port. I don't know what year the movie. I don't have notes on the movie at all.
have
I watched
notes.
it. I have
It's
thoughts.
86.
86.
86.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
It feels to me like when I was watching it, it felt like an older movie. I realize it's Vietnam. That probably had a lot to do with it.
Definitely.
But also, like, I don't know. It just felt...
And it's an Oliver Stone movie,
right?
too.
Which
and
I didn't know.
Like Oliver Stone's movies tend to, I don't know, they tend to kind of have the vibe of the time they're set in,
Right.
You know?
For sure.
Yeah, I didn't actually get to watch the movie, so it's not like
But you've
fresh in
seen
my
it
mind. But
before.
I've seen it probably 3 or 4 times at least.
I hadn't seen it before, and I can tell you guys how delighted I was when I realized that this movie is not Patton, which is what I thought it was. I've never seen Patton other than the first minute
I've never
as
seen
a
it either.
child and getting just super frustrated because it's like what they played like immediately after the cartoon block on like USA Network or something, and it's like you ruined my cartoon.
Yeah, you killed the vibe.
Yeah, man. So yeah, this is not Patton. This is Platoon. I was delighted.
I don't have it pulled up, but the fucking cast in this movie,
It's crazy.
It's like
it's like the
were
Muppet
you
Babies.
gonna be famous in the 90s? Well, you were probably in fucking Platoon.
Yeah.
I have a very good list when we get to it of who's in it, and I'm going to read their names as the characters you more know them as elsewhere.
Okay, cool. I thought you were going to say
cool.
as Jake's.
It's Jake's. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it as Jake's that they're most
Jake
famously known for. Jake Sheen.
I think his name was Jake in Major League, wasn't it?
Oh my God.
Tom Berenger's character in Major League.
Trying
Was
to
his name
remember
Jake?
character's name.
I want it to be Jake.
Well, before we get to all the platoony goodness, what you guys been up to?
Not a lot this week. It's been a pretty dull week for me. I got my nugget ice maker today.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
And I ran home before I came here to change clothes and get my truck. And she has it set up and running, and it's half full of nugget ice right now. So when I get home later, I'll be able to enjoy nugget ice.
Hell yeah.
I'm excited.
Crunch.
Aside from watching Platoon and
Are you
playing-
always an ice cruncher? Do you?
I am, but
that what
only
you're-
if it's ice that's like my teeth aren't as young as they used to be, so I don't get like one of those wedgy ice cubes that I get out of my freezer and
solid
bite into
blocks of
that.
ice.
It's too much. This is like geriatric chewing
Sonic
of ice. Yeah, it's Sonic ice. So I'm going to be consuming much ice. And I'm going to probably wear that thing out.
It's gonna be good for your hydration levels.
Yeah, it will.
Just curious because of you mentioned, I believe, geriatric teeth. Round the table, anybody here wear a mouth guard to sleep?
I know. I don't.
I've thought
I don't.
about it for my snoring, but no.
I have thought about it because I apparently grind my teeth.
I do too, because the last time I went to my dentist, I had an emergency visit because I woke up one morning and my tooth didn't hurt, but it felt weird as fuck. Like, when like your arm falls asleep or something.
Yeah.
It felt like that, but for a tooth.
Ooh.
Oh, I don't
I didn't like that either. But it didn't last long. But it happened when I first woke up, called and scheduled an appointment, which they couldn't get me for like a month.
Yeah.
And then, about, an hour later, it was fine. Just kind of forgot about it. And then the appointment came up and I had to go in and be like, well, it felt weird and now it doesn't.
Yeah.
And he was like, man, your teeth are they're pretty worn. And like, I can tell you grind your teeth. And he told me to wear a mouth guard. And I am not wearing a mouth guard to sleep. I just can't imagine I'm going to sleep well with it in.
I can't either.
I don't know, man.
Yeah?
It's just a matter of time. Like I had a retainer for fucking years.
Me too. Well,
and I slept with that bitch in all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Like I'd fall asleep. I think I was supposed to take it out, but
yeah.
I would just always forget that it was in. Leave it in.
They mainly worry about you choking to death on a retainer.
Yeah, I guess I can see that. Probably less of a concern with the mouth guard.
Could you imagine
But I bet you get to the point where you don't even think about it anymore.
Probably. I won't try it, though, because I don't want to sleep in a mouth guard.
I don't either. I super don't. So I just like, yeah, sure, I'll do that. Just left and then.
Yeah, I had the same conversation with my dentist. Okay, yeah, I'll try that. No, I won't.
Just pretend you're about to go into a boxing match. You just put it
Right.
in.
Because when Melissa was pregnant, she had to sleep on her back, and they made her snoring like severe.
Sure.
Yeah.
So she's like, I'm going to try CPAP. So I make sure I get plenty of oxygen and my snoring goes down. Fuck no. She put it on. About 2 minutes later, she's like, nope, can't do it.
Yeah, I can't, and I do not envy people that have to sleep with CPAP machines, but I had, speaking of sleeping and snoring and whatnot, I can't sleep on my back anymore because I just snore so bad. I get real bad sleep apnea and I get I snore super loud.
Same.
And I guess the other night I woke up, I rolled over, I guess, on my back and didn't go the rest of the way around. And a few minutes later, apparently, I woke up choking to death. Like I had choked on spit or something. And I was sitting on the edge of the bed, literally going like this. And of course, Tanya was fucking irritated as shit. And I'm like dying. And I literally.
Can I quieter, please?
Yeah. I was like. And then she was like, do you need me to take you to the hospital? I'm like, Jesus Christ. You hate it when I say that to you. And no, but I was like, I have never been that scared of actual death. I mean, I literally could not get air into my lungs, and it was the freakiest, scariest thing. I finally was able to get it going. Obviously, I'm not dead, but it was awful. That was one thing that happened to me
We'll
this
call
week.
Melissa next time.
That
I'll
happened
come over
this
and
week.
trachea real quick.
Oh yeah,
Really
yeah.
cool.
She'll just jaunt on over.
Medic!
Doc!
And then John and I have been playing some Overwatch this week, having some good times. I've been playing in Stadium a little bit, figuring out some of the good builds and configurations for a particular character, Ash, who burns, who can apply some big burns to enemies, and that burn damage stacks and stuff, and it's pretty cool. But the Overwatch reporting system seems to be working really well. Kaiser Ark and John and I have run into some obvious boosters, smurfs, cheaters, and reported them. And then the next day I'd log in and get a notification that
Action has been
taken.
Due to
Wow.
your report. Yeah.
So
Hell
that's
yeah.
good. Hell yeah. Because I fucking hate when people do that shit. But
Well, you said that like you
I did
looked
that with
at that.
phishing emails. and then get congratulations, you foiled our simulated fishing attack.
Yeah.
I thought you were going
Nice.
to say fishing games at first, and I was like, fuck yeah, man. Hell yeah. How many trout you caught?
You mean like you
8?
mean like in UO? You mean fishing like in UO?
Yeah. Fish cakes.
But no, you mentioned like you know you'll see somebody in there who's just fucking owning, just carrying the shit out of the other team.
Yeah.
Rest of the team sucks. They are just fucking destroying everybody.
They're their
And, like
barns.
he said, he would look at their profile and they'd have like 2 hours in game. It's
Yeah,
like,
and
come
it's like,
on, get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of here,
You
you
smurfing piece of shit.
boosting asshole. Anyway, so we did some of that.
I
and
feel like I'm listening to my kids talk though. You guys like smurfing and boosting.
it's hard to not pick up on the lingo when you're living it, you know.
When people are constantly typing it in the chat.
You guys fucking wheezing the juice. That's what
It was
Dude, I love that shit.
but tomorrow or yesterday, depending on your perspective, the newest skin collab comes out tomorrow. It's G.I. Joe, and I don't know how excited I am for it.
Body massage?
I was a huge G.I. Joe fan when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Same.
And I still am, and I'm kind of excited, but like one of the characters is Doomfist is Destro, which
Tracks.
that's okay, that's fine. And of course Genji is Snake Eyes, which
means
is
his
that is
brother.
a good. But there's no
Oh, they
Storm
didn't do
Shadow.
Hanzo
They
as
didn't
Storm
make
Shadow?
Hanzo as Storm Shadow, which
Get
is
the
really
fuck
disappointing.
Out. What a fucking terrible call.
Freya is Scarlet. I never play Freya.
What?
And missed opportunity much. Sojourn is not in the mix. She would have been a perfect Lady J,
Yeah.
you know. But Cobra Commander, that's Reaper. Reaper is Cobra Commander.
That doesn't
And it
track
doesn't-
at
I was
all.
I was
man.
thinking
Cobra
that should
Commander's
be
like,
know.
you know, he's got the high pitched voice and he's real skinny and shit. And Reaper's like
Yeah.
this fucking.
I thought it would be
that's fucking
Sigma that would be
stupid.
Cobra Commander.
Now
And then, of course, the best one is the one that I want, and what may end up winning me over is Widowmaker is Baroness, and that was
that's
it.
a
I
solid
called that
choice.
one. I
Yeah,
called
you
that and Doomfist. The others I did not get right, but so I'm gonna check them out tomorrow and see what happens. I don't know. Probably I'll fucking buy them because I'm a fucking moron. I bought all the Transformers ones, John. I have to get the GI Joe set too. Hell, my GI Joes and Transformers played together for years.
Well, yeah, of course they did.
You know, I gotta bring back that.
I just can't believe they
Union.
didn't do like a Soldier 76 as either Duke or what's the other kind of everyman?
Oh fuck, I can't remember.
Regular Soldier
Yeah.
Joe. I can't remember.
Scuba Steve?
Scuba
Yes,
Steve, that's
Scuba
it.
Steve,
You got
yeah.
it.
He was the underwater guy.
They had a lot of missed
Frogman.
opportunities here. Like Moira would have been an excellent Zartan.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I had
Well, Brett Hasbro was like $2 million a character.
yeah, probably. And they're like, well, shit, there's $8 million, $10 million down the drain. Anyway, that's pretty much it for me. I don't have a whole lot going on right now. It's too hot to get out and do anything, so I just sit around and watch TV and play Overwatch. And I didn't watch any new movies this week except Platoon, which was kind of new because I hadn't seen it in probably 30 years. So, what have you been up to, Dave?
I've been playing a game called Unicorn Overlord. I mentioned it last week. I hadn't
It's a
played
great
it yet,
title.
though. It's a game by Vanillaware. They did like Dragon's Crown, and they did 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim. It's a Unicorn Overlord is a tactical RPG set in a fantasy setting, and it's pretty neat. I got like 7 hours into it. I paid $35 for it, so it's going to be pretty like, I don't know. I got a low bar, you know what I mean? It came
Yeah.
out last year. My biggest gripe about it is that I couldn't buy it on Steam. It was like PlayStation, Switch, or Xbox. So I got it on PlayStation because that's what I have hooked up in my office at the time. That's the only reason I chose that. Other than I wasn't going to do the Switch because as cool as
Yeah.
I'd like to play this, you know, in my bed, but I don't want to constantly be thinking about like performance issues and stuff. Do we have a visitor?
There's a live
we do.
mouse in here.
Yeah.
He just scurried over there. He's a little dude.
Want to mic him up?
I wish we could. Hey, come up here and talk to us.
Get a
Tell
fifth
us why
mic.
you shit all over our stuff.
I'm gonna grind my trap skill after we're done. So.
Just hope his detect trap skill isn't higher than your
It's
trap
not.
skill.
Yeah, sorry.
My
His
dad's
once
trap-
cheese
trap
skill
setting
is
skill
way
really
higher.
So.
Bye, dude. I hate that you're gonna die, but Tyler's definitely gonna kill you.
Randy Holland's a adept trapper, so
Yeah.
I'll have him come over.
Man, I just got this vision of your dad as one of the trappers from that Trey Parker, Matt Stone,
Cannibal the
musical.
You
Yeah,
know what it means to be a trapper.
jaunting through the fucking forest, wearing skins and
Unicorn Overlord.
Yes,
Continue.
I like it. Yeah, I like it. It's it kind of reminds me of it's a weird sentence to follow up with I like it, but it reminds me of Rise of the Phoenix, which we played for the show,
Oh.
the Koei game. And it reminds me
Now I'm very confused.
yeah, I know, right?
is
But
it like that but good? Is that
yeah, it is like it's like Rise of the Phoenix in that. Okay, Rise of the Phoenix. My biggest fucking problem with that game was that you couldn't directly control your units. You can't do that in Unicorn Overlord either. Which I was when I found that out, I was like, oh, I'm in danger. But it's better because you can like. It clicks with me because in Final Fantasy 12 they had this system where you could essentially program your the logic for your party members, and I like that a lot. Where it's like,
Yeah,
you,
no, that's
if I
cool.
get below 50% hit points, heal me. You, if there's this type of enemy, use magic. I love that kind of shit. I love it because then you just build it. You just fucking write that shit script out. You're like,
yeah, you
do
get
that.
those if then else statements.
Right. And that's what they have in Unicorn Overlord. So
That
it's
sounds
like,
legit.
I've got a hunter, and it's like, dude, they got someone on the back row, use fire arrow. And then I got like a cleric, and it's like, if anybody gets injured, do a quick heal on them. So it's very cool. I like
Yeah.
that. And Rise of the Phoenix didn't really give you that. Rise of the Phoenix was just kind of like, you got some guys, and they got some guys, and
Rise of the Phoenix was an old game.
yeah, for the Super
Okay,
Nintendo.
so it had like shitty old AI too,
it did have shitty old
as
AI.
opposed to
Yeah.
new.
That might have been the game that seemed the most straightforward of the Koei games, but one I understood the least.
Same. Well, a lot of that was because it was like based on Chinese history, and it's like
Oh, I remember that.
Oh, yeah,
actually,
yeah,
now that you
okay.
mention
I'm not
it.
familiar
Requirements:
enough.
you have to have your bachelor's in
Right.
Chinese history.
Yeah.
before you play.
because it's like I couldn't
Chinese
keep-
anthropology.
I
Was
couldn't
that
keep-
one that I was in on, or was
Yeah,
that
I
before
think
my
you were
time?
in
Yeah,
on
I was
it.
gonna
I
say.
think
I
you were
thought. I
on
think
it.
Yeah,
with
we
that
did this a
just-
couple months ago, I think.
I remember it because I remember I didn't really play it. I just sort of studied at it because I didn't have time to really get into
Welcome
it.
to
no one,
Koei games.
no one
Yeah.
does.
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
really.
I
But it was
remember
one of
We're gonna
those-
make you smarter.
If
While
this
you're
was a
having fun.
once, if this
Yeah.
was a twice annual podcast where we had 6 months to prepare, they'll make it do a Koei series.
Right.
That is true. My biggest thing at Rise of the Phoenix was that like I'm not familiar enough with China or Chinese heritage to like I couldn't keep the city name straight. You know what I mean? Because it was like I just can't.
Yeah, I remember.
My
you
brain isn't programmed to like phonetically remember the
Yeah.
order of these. You know these.
Do I go to Xingqiao or then Shenzhen?
Right.
I don't know.
And then I would forget the name of the city that I was supposed to attack, and there's no like menu to reference, and so I'm just kind of out there like, I guess I'm gonna attack this city.
Because it's better, like, because Gemfire had like 15 lords you could be, all of
Right.
varying skills. Like, at least Rise of the Phoenix only had 2. But
That's
everything
true.
else was complicated.
So it was really complicated.
They were just, instead of like only 4 towns, there were instead 20 towns and 2 characters.
Yeah.
Gemfire was the inverse.
Yeah.
So tell me, why is it called Unicorn Overlord?
Well, they worship a unicorn in this setting.
I see.
And the story is pretty basic story, kind of boilerplate. A kingdom is usurped, and
I, for one, welcome our new unicorn overlords.
and a prince
Does Grimm usurp?
no, someone else usurps him, and then they send a prince away, and then later he meets up with like one of his mother's retainers, and she gives him a unicorn ring. And what this allows him to do is essentially dispel the because the guy who usurps takes over the continent essentially, and this ring allows him to dispel his mind control magic. So that's where the unicorn kind of comes in.
Gotcha.
And then on a similar vein, I watched the first season of an anime called The Elusive Samurai. It came out last year by a studio called Cloverworks, and I had saved it, and this weekend I kind of like took a break from Final Fantasy, and I was like, I just want to watch some anime. Let me check and see what I got. Oh, right, yeah, right. I forgot I saved this, and I watched all of it, and I really liked it. It's kind of a similar story in that it's about a prince or young heir to a Japanese province. His clan gets betrayed by a shogun, and he manages to escape. And then he's taken in by like a neighboring country's leader, which is a high Shinto priest. And then this priest starts giving him like retainers and like the tools to one day take back his country. And the kid is 9 years old. And the anime is fiction. It's historical fiction, but it's pulling a lot from actual history from like I think it's the early 1300s, where this man essentially just started, like, you know, they always do in Japanese history, where it's like one guy's like, yeah, I'm just going to take over all of this, you know?
Yeah.
It's really cool. It is really cool. And it's like, it does a great job of like, it's really wholesome because it's dealing with like this child. But then it is like also like, it's brutal as well. It's rated 16 plus, which is like on Crunchyroll. It's like, I don't see a lot of 16 plus. It's bloody. It's super bloody. And it is like the first episode covers like him living in his city the way that it was. And it covers the betrayal, and it covers like what happened to that city. And it is like, holy shit. And they don't pull punches. Like there's like, Henry watched a little bit with me, and he's like, I like this. I'm like, yeah, I know you like it, but let's watch. This is one we watch together. This isn't one that you watch on your own, because there's
this requires some explanation.
Yeah,
from time to time.
From time to time.
Yeah.
I mean, just because it's like there's dismemberments and like beheadings, and you know, it's
1300s feudal Japan was rough.
Yeah, and they get into some of that shit, but it's really weird because it is contrasted against this like wholesomeness of like childhood, and also just like 1 minute it's kind of like and 1 minute it's kind of like a shiny anime, and then the next minute it's like dude's losing his fingers, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's wild. And like the animation style is all over the place. There's some stuff in there that I feel like a lot of people might not like, because it's like they mix like 2D and they do some 3D, like 3D to make it look 2D kind of stuff. And I know a lot of people don't like that. And then, but then it also goes into some weird places where there's some really like trippy visuals with like some of the Shintoism and stuff like that. It's very, very cool. I highly recommend it.
What was the name of it again?
It's called The Elusive Samurai. And he's called The Elusive Samurai because, to put it as my son might, bro put all his points in evasion. He's actually.
I saw a fight where they were fighting in a house on TikTok the other day when they were running. Yeah,
he's like it's like a small Buddhist shrine, and he lures this huge warrior in who's armored, and he lures him in, and he uses this technique where he's not a very good swordsman. The Elusive Samurai is not, and he uses this technique where he kind of like lets the blade like do the work. He doesn't really chop. He's not very strong. So he evades and cuts this dude's wrist, and then his strategy is just like evade this guy until
he bleeds out.
He bleeds out.
Death by 1,000 cuts sort of thing.
Yeah.
Death by one really good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's honestly, it's not even like the samurai he cuts is like, you think this is gonna kill me? You know, like this. It was
like
given time.
yeah, in about 10 minutes.
so. Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. I like it a lot. That's it for me. What about John? What you been up to?
About the same as Ian. Not much. Played a little Overwatch with Ian, and that about it. Managed to make it out to the range and get a couple of guns sighted in.
Nice.
I've been meaning to sight in for a long time. And man, suppressed 22s are just the funnest thing ever. Good Lord.
I want to get out there with you.
Yeah,
still.
you gotta
Bring
try
Henry.
it. It's so fun because like there was a point where my buddy was shooting beside me and I'm shooting the suppressed 22. So it's a bolt action 16-inch rifle.
So it's a rifle
with
okay.
a suppressor, and I've got the scope on there, and I'm trying to sight it in. So, and I don't really have a target, like a proper target for that kind of thing. So I'm just like, there's a piece of wadded up paper laying on the ground around about the 100-yard line, and I'm just walking it in, right? I'm just like seeing where the dirt flies up and making some adjustments and just trying to walk it into that target. And at one point, I didn't know if the gun went off. Like I pulled the trigger and I heard I felt sort of a click, but like he had sort of fired right about that time, and I was literally just like, did it shoot? And then I saw dirt fly up, and I was like, oh, it did, yeah, okay. It was like I couldn't even tell. You know? Yeah, it was a good time though. Got those dialed in. I've been meaning to do that. It's been so long since I've been able to get out to the range, so that was nice. Yeah, Overwatch, a little bit of range time, and then watching Star Trek Strange New Worlds still.
Strange New Worlds is awesome.
It is the fucking best. Like it, man, it's like I had forgotten how quickly, or I had forgotten how much I liked that show because I only watched it the one time through, and then the second season came out and I watched that, and then I just never went back and rewatched it like I do with most Star Treks, you know. So he started rewatching it, so I was like, yeah, that's a good idea because the third season's supposed to come out like when
soon,
yeah, at some point soon. But I'm to like episode 7 of the first season, and the stories are just, I love them. They're just so good. Like the one that I watched last was basically like, it starts out with them finding this shuttle that's like under attack from this ship, and they kind of swoop in and save the day, and you know the other ship flies away, and it ends up being like this like child is on board who's like they keep calling him the first servant, and he's like a sort of almost like a religious / political leader, but he's just like a child, and they keep talking about his ascension and everything, and none of it's really super clarified. You know what I'm saying? Like they're just like, oh yeah, he's the leader, you know, and all this stuff, and then you find out like later on that like he's kind of like the sacrifice in a way. Like this whole planet is like its power is sort of derived from a sacrifice, and it's a long-term sacrifice. It's not something like he just dies and all of a sudden his energy, it's like slowly drained out of him over time, and it's like really fucked up, kinda.
Oh,
You know, like
really
it's
fucked up.
It's fucked up, and like there's this moment at the end that is just really, really stuck with me. You know, is really, really good. But they'll do shit like that. Like he was just talking about. He just watched this episode in the second season where it's like really fucking dark and really fucking heavy, and then they follow it with a musical episode.
A musical episode?
Yeah,
fucking
and, you know,
musical
you
episode.
wouldn't think that it would be very good. You know, you'd think, oh God, you know.
Yeah, that
but
is what I thought.
They have the like Star Trek is known for its misfires on things like, back when the Enterprise crew in Next Gen, they did a whole Robin Hood thing, and then they did, they always
On the
do these
holodeck,
little
yeah,
one-off
sure.
shows that have some kind of theme.
It was like a Sherlock Holmes one or
Sherlock
something, wasn't
Holmes.
there?
Those
there's
are
a couple of those.
okay.
those are
yeah.
usually pretty good, but sometimes they just break off into these dumb ideas, and it's almost guaranteed you're going to get one of those per series at least. For a long running one like Next Gen, it's 5 or 6. But this episode was a musical, and the way that they explained, like they were aware that they were singing,
That
and
made
not
all
had,
the difference.
They
to
had
me,
no
too.
control over it, so they explained what was going on.
Right.
I'm on board.
It's not
I'm
just
John.
a musical where they're just inexplicably
Right.
singing these scenes. There is a phenomenon that is making them sing things they would normally say.
The episode of Buffy did
And
that with a demon.
Sort of.
like-
Yeah, exactly.
Well-
and that is the only other musical that I like.
This one, this
and
one
that's
was
because there's an explanation.
yeah,
you know?
and this one was particularly good because, by God, the songs were really well written,
Yeah.
and they were
Yeah.
very good songs. And I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, they put a lot of effort into this one episode of the show. And it was a really nice palate cleanser for the one before it. And I'm almost positive that's why they decided to do
Sure.
it.
Yeah.
Because the one before
Yeah.
it was a really, really hard watch. It was tough.
tough.
But
Brutal.
yeah, the musical episode of Strange New Worlds was fantastic. I watched it last night, and I'd seen it once before, and I was just like, God damn, how did they do that? That's just, how do they make me like something that I would normally
Dude, I've
fucking
tried.
hate?
My wife.
And I like musicals, but not, I don't like that chocolate in my peanut butter, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's time and a place.
My wife is not like a huge musical fan, but like she likes Chicago, and there's a
Yeah.
few other assorted musicals that like I've tried to watch with her, and I just can't, man. I just can't fucking do it.
Did you like Hamilton by any chance?
I haven't seen that.
Oh, okay.
I've heard that is kind of an exception to the rule.
I'm kind of with you.
I would
That's
like
and
to
that's
watch
why
that.
I asked, because I really liked Hamilton. I don't know that you will, but I'm also not like I don't really like musicals that much.
Yeah.
But
See,
I thought Hamilton was really good.
I watched a lot of. I went to a lot of Broadway plays when I was a kid. And
Yeah.
My parents were theater majors, so naturally they gravitated towards Cats and Les Mis and
Sure.
the Phantom of the Opera and
Sure.
all that shit. So I listened to a
Miss
lot of that
Saigon.
growing up. Watched a lot of musicals on TV, like Music Man, the one that the monorail episode of The
Right.
Simpsons was based on,
Yeah.
and shit like that. So I like them. Wicked was amazing.
I still need to see Wicked.
Wicked's fucking great. It's different than the Broadway play a little bit because they have more storytelling in that than in the play. But I like that shit. But again, I don't necessarily like it when I'm watching my Star Trek.
Sure.
And B, I don't expect it
And
to be
man-
any good. But this was the serious exception to that rule. It was fucking great.
I remember like when it first came out, there's another guy at work who's also a big Star Trek nerd. And
Joe.
and he came in and he was like, "Did you watch it?" And I'm always behind because I'm watching it on your streaming platform of choice, and he's watching it on the streaming platform that it actually comes out on. And he's like, "Oh, did you see that last episode?" And I was like, "Nah, man, I haven't had a chance to watch it yet." And he was like, "It was a musical," and I was just like, "Oh, really? What?
I waited a whole week. For
Really?"
this.
And then I watched it and was like, "Oh, okay, that was really fucking good."
Gotta hand
Anyway,
it to them. They can take any,
so-
any of that kind of shit and work with it, and it's good. I told him earlier, I have yet to see an episode of Strange New Worlds that I didn't 100% love.
Yeah.
And that's really rare. They don't have 23 chances to disappoint me per season. It's
Yeah.
10 episodes. What? Where?
Is that a little friend?
Oh, is
over
he-
here?
Yeah, he's climbing.
Oh my gosh, he's up on the pillow up there.
Yeah, he climbed the
Oh,
pillow.
He's got his little house.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but
No, it's
I wanted
fine.
you to see that mouse climbing the wall.
He's cozy snuggling up there. He's listening. He's getting early access to the podcast. Hey, You need to pay us
$20.
$20.
You haven't donated $1 on Patreon, you little shit.
By the way, we don't have early access for anyone. For any
Yeah, I
amount
don't
of
want the
money.
$20 done. I don't want the producers to be like, wait a minute. am I
No,
supposed to be
yeah,
getting-
I did too. I thought the same thing. Like, just
It's just for mice,
The
guys.
only mice.
The only early access is being here with us
Yeah.
or remoted in while we record.
Which we don't allow you to do unless you shit on the table when we're not recording.
Everyone that's
Nate
been here-
came and shit on the table.
Right.
He did.
So he
It
was
was first
allowed
order of
to,
business.
Yeah. Chris Edler's shit on the table. I mean, lots of people have shit on this table.
it's a history, a living history of.
It's got a nice patina to
Yeah,
it.
it's hard to see, but in the right light, it really stands out.
So Tyler, what have you been up to this week?
Let's see. So, work week, I was at the hospital all week training the new director, and then on Saturday, my boss calls me, very pissed off. So, the system is selling their home office. So we had like so many days to get everything out. And today was the deadline to get everything out of the kitchen. And come Saturday, no one had done it, like anything. So he called me. He was like, "This is your district now. You got to fucking do something right now." So I was like, "Okay." So I went to Cincinnati, rented a U-Haul.
How did that go?
Every manager.
how did the
How did the
U-Haul
U-Haul
go?
thing go?
Man,
Oh, okay.
Paducah U-Haul needs to take Matt Bell needs to take a lesson from the Cincinnati
Got it.
U-Haul.
You got it. You went fishing and you got it.
Yeah, because I reserved it the night before. Still got the last truck that day. I went there as soon as they opened. Got it. But apparently my GPS does not know where anything is, so I went to like the wrong, like put in for the home office address. Nope, nowhere close. So then I had to I went to a Chinese restaurant really close to it like a month ago. That's still in my GPS. I want to go there and then backtrack. Yeah, and I put up the bat signal, all the managers. Hey, anybody in Cincinnati, let's move this shit out. So 3 other managers showed up. We took like 4 U-Haul loads out.
Damn.
And personal vehicles full multiple times
Wow.
and got everything moved out. Because I went up there, got up there, drove up there, stayed Saturday night, got up Saturday morning, got the U-Haul. We were there for about 6 hours, moved everything out, then I drove back. So, but I did. So I got up there probably about 11 o'clock. Knew, first night in a strange place, plus I've been chugging caffeine all day, so it's like I'm not going to sleep for shit. So I did the super special combo of a Balsamra and an Ambien. So
What's a Balsambra?
So Balsamra is
a
what I
Pokemon.
normally take. Balsamra works the opposite of Ambien. So Ambien supercharges the portion of your brain that releases sleep chemical and you fall asleep. Balsamra chokes off the point of your brain that releases the stay awake chemical. So normally I will take that and just fall asleep because I stopped making the awake chemical. So whenever I supercharge the go to sleep and deny the stay awake, whoa, yeah, that's a Michael Jackson knock your fucking ass out.
Had you done that before?
Yeah, that's my trump card when I know I really have to sleep fast and hard.
You haven't added Benadryl to the equation yet?
Okay, so the other day, I stopped taking Benadryl. It's being like outlawed in the UK. It has so many bad side effects, but I take something similar that is safer.
Okay.
Plus, it's been shown to increase your long-term use to increase your chances of getting Alzheimer's. So I definitely stopped Benadryl. Years ago.
Really?
So I take something else now. I don't remember what it's called, but it's something very complicated. I have to order it off Amazon, but it works pretty much the same way. So then I also take, because normally my bedtime cocktail is a Balsamra, 2 of the other kind of sleep pills, and a tizanidine, which is like a mild muscle relaxer.
You got all the letters of the alphabet.
Yeah. And then I take my restless legs medication. I do pretty well. But still, if it's a completely different environment, and I've had caffeine. Like I don't drink caffeine past noon, 1 o'clock every day anyway. So that set myself up. It still takes about an hour and a half. Once I take that cocktail, it takes about an hour and a half, 2 hours for me to fall asleep. Still,
Damn.
I take the other, and I've gone in like 30 minutes, max 20, 30 minutes. So the other day, I was keyed up about something about work, and I was like, fuck, I've got a huge thing tomorrow. I've got meetings. I got to do this. I have to sleep. So I added tizanidine to my super trump card of the Balsamic and the Ambien. Melissa watched me for most of the night because she said my respiration dropped real fucking low.
Yeah.
Real low. Like she was scared, so she watched me sleep on and off, like to make sure I was okay. So I'm not adding the muscle relaxer to that combo anymore.
Yeah.
Because I remember I remember Anna and
maybe get like a little piece of sandpaper and just
because the Ambien and Balsamic is enough.
Dust
I
on
did
there.
not need to add anything else to that.
I was just kidding earlier.
No, it just so happens just like last week because Anna and her boyfriend were over. I took that. I remember just like laying there, like watching TV, and I kind of felt it start to hit. And then it was the next morning. I don't remember.
Time travel sleep.
Nothing
is
else.
fucking
You made
weird.
the shit that the friar gave Juliet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I woke up, Melissa was like, I was really worried about you. But I took the Balsamic and the Ambien. I got in at like 11:15. I was like, all right, I got just enough time to DoorDash a fuck ton of sushi for my reimbursement budget. So just ordered a bunch of sushi, waited like 10 minutes, and then took the Ambien. And just in time for it to start to be hitting when DoorDash dropped off the sushi. So great. Smashed a bunch of sushi, bunch of seaweed salad. Great. And I'm just like, I happen to pick up my phone. I'm scrolling through as I'm going to bed. And then I see on my bucket list there's a place in New York called Magnolia Bakery that supposedly makes the best banana pudding to date. Like I've thought about getting the sampler pack for us to try on the show. It's like $60 to have it sent. I saw they had a Magnolia Bakery in Cincinnati. I was like, fuck, I am deep in these pills.
I should drive.
I've done that in DC before too. and just like vaguely like, did I drive last night? Yeah, I think I drove to like CVS last night. Like, yeah, I've done that shit before too. That shit's fucking dangerous. But it's like, man, I've got to have this banana pudding. So I fought my super combo enough to DoorDash $20 of banana pudding to my hotel room.
Good call on the DoorDash.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
100%.
sure. I've seen you fight the Ambien before, though.
That's when you fight it. That's when you
that
get
is
fucked up.
funny. That is funny. I just imagine this guy delivering $20 worth of banana pudding to your
Oh, no, it was
hotel
one
room.
single cup.
Oh, it
that
was
$20.
I just imagine
I mean, it
him,
was
like,
$11
knocking on the
plus
door.
$10 for the DoorDash.
Sure.
But, yeah.
And you're just like, and just give him the money and shut the door.
The best is Josh
what just
Nance when he
happened?
takes Ambien. When he takes it and fights it. That's primo right there.
Was that when he was reading the Cable and Deadpool comic?
Yep. And he was able to move them around on the page, and he went outside, and the bush was making fun of him for reading comic books. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember, like, I got that. I sat down to eat the pudding. Next morning, I woke up. Empty pudding. Do not remember if I liked it. Do not remember how it tasted.
That sucks.
Don't remember anything about this fucking banana pudding whatsoever.
Damn it.
Yes, I have had that. I have no other thoughts.
Don't know.
I have no other thoughts.
Oh, we gave him the mind erasing pudding. I thought you wanted who? Sorry about that.
Oh, we gave you the one with the extra Ambien.
But then I did hit up. I asked one of the directors, like, so what's a good place for me to get Asian food? And he told me this: the Grand Oriental in Cincinnati. On Sundays they do dim sum. So I have my allotment of reimbursement. So I was like, I'm gonna go blow it all on dim sum, and I did, and it was fucking great, fucking great. And it was they only run it until 2:30, and I got there at like 4. So they were like, well, because normally they have like carts and stuff. They go around and people take a plate, whatever off. They charge you for it. So I just had to pick what was left over. which is pretty slim, like no shrimp options whatsoever. So I got beef shumai, pot stickers, ginger scallion, beef tripe, salt and pepper fried squid, and another kind of, I think it was sweet and sour tripe, which I do. I like tripe. I'm not going to double up anymore, though. Get 2 big bowls of tripe. I'm not going to do it again.
I wonder why that was
What is
still there.
tripe?
Right?
What is tripe? don't know
Beef
what it is.
intestine.
Yeah.
This is beef. This is beef tripe specifically. Yeah,
Ah,
yeah. Good. It's chewy. It's got little pricklies on it.
Oh,
Yeah, those are the flavor crystals.
Man, you had me. Like I was
good.
okay with Chewy when you said
It's like beef squid. Let's put it like that.
That's a new Steam name. Can I use that? Can I have that?
oh man!
Can I have beef squid?
hot.
New YouTube channel, beef squid. I
feel like it needs a-
See if
needs- it needs
beefsquid.fun is registered.
It needs an adjective in front of it, like hot beef squid.
Hot beef squid.
Yeah, or something like the spicy beef squid.
We might have beefsquid.fun.
Because I did ordered the cold spicy squid, and all the owners, super sweet people, very sweet. They all, 3 of them came over to me. They're like, no, get the fried. Get the fried.
What did you order?
Because I got the salt and pepper fried squid, which was the best squid I've ever had. Like, it was fucking phenomenal. But they were like, the cold stuff, like, no, you want the fried. I was like, okay, sure. Hit me. I'm good.
Beefsquid.fun's available.
How much? $6.99.
Well, I did the thing where I just typed the URL in. I just rolled the dice.
Oh.
The DNS didn't resolve.
Got it.
Further research is needed.
We may have beefsquid.fun. If it's cheap enough, I want it for a year.
Beefsquid.gg.
We'll point.
Beefsquid.xxx.
We'll point it at the Discord.
One of our clients thought having a domain that ended in .healthcare would be a good idea.
Oh yeah, people love typing that out.
Yeah. It was stupid.
I got to talk to Ian this week.
Oh yeah,
week.
that's right. I forgot. We
For
had
work
work
purposes.
We had work
Yeah.
purpose call.
I didn't know about you
Yeah,
guys
the company
kept me
that
out
is
of
the
this.
parent company of what he works. You know the one. That
Okay,
one.
yeah.
They were having some issues, and I still get called about a lot of tech stuff, even though I'm on the sales side of the house. And I know Jeff. Like we go way back, but anyway.
That's all fixed.
I
now.
want to hum the jingle so bad.
Oh, is it?
It's all fixed now.
Good. See, I told you it wasn't us.
Oh, I knew.
I know you knew.
Yeah.
Well, what was weird about that call, Jake, was
Yes, Jake.
that
But we kept calling each other Jake.
I don't
really weirded
know.
out.
Whenever the guy's name is Jeff that I work with over there, and what I didn't realize was like he said we were talking, and I had a theory about the issue he was having, but I wasn't gonna be. It wasn't something I was gonna be able to test. But I kind of want. He's like, well, he said, let me get Dave on the phone, and I thought, or he said, let me get David on the phone, and I thought he was talking about the guy at Zebra or wherever, the place, the other company involved.
Right.
And then you came on the phone, and I'm like, oh, Dave.
Oh, hey, guy that I host a podcast with that I've known since you were 16 years
But it
old.
was so strange hearing
It was weird.
your voice
It was
pop up on
weird.
the phone. I was like, oh my God, I'm talking to Dave at work. It was cool.
It's a small world.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead, Tyler.
That's all I did. And I came back, and then I worked from home today.
Good.
So I slept in. I gave myself an hour more sleep because I got home about
Hell
like
yeah.
9:30, 10 o'clock. And then just worked from home. But I got to go in tomorrow. and
You
do
should
live
get a
close,
day
but-
off for working on your day off.
I mean, I can set my own schedule and just be up if I need to.
Yeah,
But
you should do that.
it's like next week. I'll take Friday off next week because I go to Cincinnati next week, so I'll be gone Monday through Thursday for that, and then I'll take Friday off.
Do it.
So
Don't let them take you, man.
well,
Because when you work, you know how it works.
I mean, I signed up. I know I got to put everything into it, and when I'm satisfied, then I'll just be off. When I know like everything's gonna be okay. And I
Oh yeah, everything will be okay.
Yeah.
That'll totally happen. That'll definitely happen, Tyler.
my boss
for sure.
My boss went to another district that's on fire, so he's the one that's working constantly, and then I've inherited the golden district that he made good and then handed off. So like,
You got to
he's
keep
like
it
the
there.
motherfucker.
Yeah.
I just got to keep it there, which is a lot easier than fixing it in the first place. So, you guys want to talk about Platoon?
Yes.
Yes.
Plato on?
I have some stuff. I did not do a totals list because I felt that would be really inappropriate.
Almost as inappropriate as making an NES game. about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've already gotten the enough inappropriateness.
Don't worry, I got achievements that are totally inappropriate.
Good, me too. Oh my god, I have a lot of achievements, and they're
Man.
all pretty.
I wish I had
inappropriate.
more. I can't wait to hear
There's
yours.
a mouse behind you.
Is there?
He's gone now. He
Oh,
was on
he
top of
peeked out.
He was on top of the thing.
I wonder if it was the same one that was climbing.
Probably,
that wall.
or else there's several, which would also be a possibility.
We own Beef Squid. Not fun.
Nice. Is that going to point to tadpog.com or are we going to point it to the Discord?
Whatever.
Nah, neither. Just a picture.
Yeah. Whatever. It was $1.49.
Oh, good. Yeah. For a year?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Now, did you turn off auto renew?
I did.
Nice. Perfect. This has gone exactly how I had hoped it would.
I'm going to enjoy that PayPal breakdown.
Yeah. Minus $1.49. Beefsquid.fun.
That's gonna make it worth it right there. And that's just once. That's just once, right?
You can't.
Yeah.
A
You
year.
can't buy a Sprite at the gas station for that.
You can buy a diet right.
Thank you.
Can you?
I don't know.
Ooh. I mean, probably.
Yeah.
Only
You
if
pay
it's
more than
only
that.
if it's
Find it. You can
warm.
probably get it.
Only if it's warm.
It's on the bot. It's discontinued. It's expired. It's under the shelf. You just barter somebody a price.
Blow the dust off it.
$1.49? Yeah, okay.
I gave you 79 cents for this diet, right? This warm diet, right?
Sold.
Make it 80 and you got a deal. All right, Platoon, 1986. Directed and written by Oliver Stone. Released December 19th, 1986. Merry Christmas. Here's some Platoon. Enjoy your holiday.
Hey, remember Vietnam?
10
Yeah.
years ago?
Merry Christmas.
Remember 13 years ago when Vietnam was happening, 20 years ago? Yeah. You probably remember that, right? Well, here's your Christmas present. We're going to tell you about one of the worst things, some of the worst shit that's ever happened
The horrors of war.
in Vietnam.
Ho, ho, ho.
Runtime, a brief 2 hours for an Oliver Stone movie. That's
really
short.
good.
It's short for an Oliver
Yeah,
Stone
go
movie.
look at the runtime on JFK.
Yeah,
Come back
it's a
to
lot.
me.
Yeah,
It didn't feel long.
No, it didn't. It went really quickly. $6 million budget. Box office gross was $138 million worldwide.
Wow, fucking good turnaround.
The synopsis of this movie, it's set during the Vietnam War. Platoon follows Chris Taylor, a young idealistic American soldier who volunteers for combat duty. As he navigates the harsh jungle and brutal reality of war, he finds himself caught in a moral battle between two sergeants, the compassionate Sergeant Elias and the ruthless Sergeant Barnes. The film explores the psychological toll of war, moral ambiguity, and the breakdown of human spirit amidst violence. Merry Christmas! Ho, ho, ho! No.
Hey, a lot
This
of
Christmas, get deep in the mud.
of Vietnam.
Now, I told you I was going to read the cast
Yes, please.
yeah.
as characters they were more famous for being. I'm going to read the character, and I want you to tell me who the cast member is.
Oh, I'm going to be horrible at this. Okay.
Charlie Harper in 2.5 Men.
Charlie Sheen.
He always
Blood.
plays fucking Charlie's.
Jake Taylor in Major League.
Tom Berenger. It was Jake. It was Jake. I knew it.
You got it. I didn't want to spoil it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Norman Osborn / Green Goblin in Spider-Man 2002.
Oh, fuck. I I said his name like 10
Willem
times
Dafoe.
earlier
Yes,
today.
it's
Willem
Willem
Dafoe.
Dafoe.
Thank you.
Here's what happens anytime I try
I'm
to
a bit of a
recall
scientist too.
Willem Dafoe's name. My brain is like the fucking Sith Kermit is like, say Christopher Walken, and I have to like fight. I have to like push past that and be like, no, Sith Frog. It's not Christopher Walken.
Talk about how big his penis is. That made people on set uncomfortable during his one nude scene.
SithKermit.fun.
He has a nude scene.
I remember reading about it, like he had a full frontal scene in some movie, and the cast got so uncomfortable him standing there how enormous Willem Dafoe's penis is.
It's like the counter to Harvey Keitel.
Okay, next. Idi Amin in The Last King of Scotland.
Forrest Whitaker.
Forrest Whitaker.
Could have also gone Saw Gerrera.
He won.
there.
I could have, but I didn't. I didn't want it to be that fucking
That would be
easy.
obvious, yeah.
Best actor he won for that role, by the way.
Nice.
Dr. Perry Cox in Scrubs.
J.C.
John-
McGinley.
J.C. McGinley, you got it.
And he uses the same fucking line.
Yeah,
He uses the same line. Can I tell you that, like, as hateable as he is in this movie, I loved seeing a man chew gum and smoke a cigarette. At the same time.
It's awesome.
And it sucks because it's like
He's like egregious about it too.
I know. And it's also like really hard to take him seriously because he's so good in Scrubs.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I know him as Dr. Cox, and he's kind of sort of the same person.
He's like a not as confident
Right.
Dr. Cox. Yeah. Got more of a squirmy kind of asshole Dr. Cox.
Yes.
Childs in The Thing, 1982, and voice roles in Spawn and Mass Effect.
I feel like I should know this, but I
That one guy who looks like Tommy Davidson but isn't.
No. Keith David.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
He was in The Thing with Kurt Russell.
okay.
Do we remember The Thing?
I do remember the thing.
Keith David does a lot of voice acting, like
Welcome to
in
hell.
anime and stuff, or in animation, not anime. Captain Jack Sparrow in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Johnny Depp.
Johnny
Oh,
Depp.
he was the
Fucking
translator, wasn't he?
It's weird. I didn't recognize him at first. It took like
Yeah.
maybe 10 seconds for me to be like, oh God, that's fucking Johnny
know,
Depp.
right?
He's super young in this movie.
Yeah.
Like super young in this movie.
And last but not least,
Okay.
Candyman and Mr. Bloodworth from Final Destination.
You shared him on Discord earlier. I can't
I don't
remember
know
his
his
name.
name.
Tony Todd.
Tony Todd, he was Kern.
Yes.
Johnny Depp is so young in this one, you can still smell the stink of Owensboro on him.
I have. That's the list of people that are in the movie. Good job in getting those mostly right. Academy Awards won by this movie in 1987. Best Picture, Best Director, Best Film Editing, and Best Sound.
Shit, it won 4. I knew it won 2. I didn't realize it won 4.
It was nominated for 4 others, including Best Actor in a Supporting Role by Berenger and Defoe. Berenger and Defoe both were nominated for their roles in that
And
movie.
both lost. Wow.
Platoon is a autobiographical film based on Oliver Stone's own experiences in Vietnam. It was the first Hollywood film written and directed by a Vietnam veteran.
Yeah.
The actors went through a grueling 2-week boot camp in the jungle in character and in full gear to enhance realism. And Charlie Sheen's father, Martin Sheen, starred in another iconic Vietnam War film, Apocalypse Now.
Which I haven't seen, but now I want to see it.
Yeah.
because-
You should. It's good.
It's really good. It's a
fucked up. But
What?
Let's see, there's a video game.
Oh, man.
for Apocalypse Now.
I thought Platoon was a stretch.
That might be a
Apocalypse
bit
Now.
rough. I love the smell of napalm in the morning. It's sitting at an 88 Rotten Tomato critic, 93 audience, Metacritic 86, Cinema Score A. Widely praised for its gritty realism, emotional impact, and complex moral themes. It's often ranked among the greatest war films ever made. I could see that.
I
Yeah,
really.
me
sorry,
too.
go ahead.
Oh, you first.
No, I was just going to say, like, I did not realize, although I should have, I did not realize that Oliver Stone himself served in Vietnam. But like after watching this movie and seeing like how realistically it is portrayed, just even in the like from an operational context, you know, like that makes perfect fucking sense. Like it like kind of clicked when you said it. I was like, oh shit, because I knew that Captain Dale Dye was the like technical advisor.
Yeah.
And he was actually the technical advisor for Band of Brothers, and he's in Band of Brothers.
Yeah.
Could you tell me who that is? I'm sorry.
I'd have to like show you a picture.
Oh,
of him.
okay,
If
okay.
you've seen Band of Brothers, he's
haven't.
like he's a colonel. He doesn't have like a lot of scenes, but the ones he's in, he's pretty memorable.
Okay.
But yeah, like I thought it was just super good technical direction. But now that you said, you know, he was a Vietnam veteran,
Yeah.
that makes perfect fucking sense.
And not only that, like you were saying, Ian, because I like this movie enough where I wanted to watch videos about it.
Yeah.
And like, so I watched a few interviews with him from like shortly after the movie was out. Apparently, like his story is just like Taylor's, and that he like went to school and then dropped out and then enlisted and then said, I want to fight.
At a time when people were getting drafted.
Right.
He
And they addressed that
volunteered.
in the movie.
Yeah.
That's
some
crazy.
shit.
They even asked, like, on one interview, they were asking about in this movie, there's a scene where Taylor's firing at the feet of a Vietnamese man.
Dance.
Did you do that? And he said, yeah. Yeah, he said that's a real thing. That's a real thing that happened.
That
I was
scene, that
blown
scene-
away that he said that he said that he did that.
Yeah.
So,
That scene was so powerful because you see why he did it.
The group
He's
think.
just lost his shit at this point. He's taking his frustrations out on this poor kid, and you can tell that the kid is mentally deficient. He's
Right.
got a mental disorder.
Right.
And so he's got this kind of perpetual grin on his face that's probably more out of fear than out of humor. Obviously, he just doesn't know what people some yelling at him. He's scared, and
In a language he doesn't
in a
understand.
language he doesn't understand. And it was really, really disturbing, but it was really easy to kind of understand why he did that. And it was scary. It was just like, God.
oh yeah, it's
just
super.
so-
Because you see how
disturbing.
easily someone that you can identify with in a way
Yeah.
can slide down that.
Yeah.
But that's a really important scene because in that scene we find out what kind of person Taylor is, because Bunny, who's with him,
Right. This is Kevin Dillon, Matt Dillon's brother, played Bunny. And
Is-
didn't list him.
Taylor like finds the line and he dallies with the line in his rage, you know, and Bunny is just a psychopath.
Yeah.
Like Bunny just kills a dude, you know, and brutally.
Yeah, oh yeah, Gallagher style.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, with
And
the butt of his rifle.
They do a good job in the movie, I thought, like, because you don't see a lot of anything that happens. Like, there's rape in the movie. You don't see that.
a good job with
It's
the
it's
A
implication.
lot of it's
yeah.
implied. A lot of the violence is implied, but like it's done in such a way that like the weight of it isn't. A lot of the weight isn't lost. You still feel it. It's almost like in your mind, it almost feels dirtier because it's like forcing you to think about it.
Yeah, because sometimes your imagination is worse than what you might
What
see
you're
on
being
the
fed.
screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing about that one scene as well that got to me was the dude from Scrubs that was, of course, had been very braggadocious about his, you know, how much of a badass he is and things that he'd done and all this stuff. But earlier in the movie, he'd been bragging about his exploits, right? And he was watching Charlie Sheen's character shoot at the feet, and then when Bunny starts killing the kid, this guy looks legitimately terrified. Like,
Yeah.
you know, this kid's doing the kind of stuff that he was sort of quote unquote bragging about. Like, I do this or I do that or whatever. But he really that did not sit well with him. He even had to call him off. He'd be like, "Come on, man, we got to get out of here."
Yep. I think the character work in this movie was really good.
Yeah.
It's hard to remember that Charlie Sheen used to be an actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like a really good actor.
And it is like I kind of had a similar problem with him as I did with J.C. McGinley, where it's like there were times where it was hard, like in the beginning of the movie, where like very beginning of the movie, where like they're going through the jungle and he faints.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's funny. Oh wait, no, it's not, because I'm
Right.
just so used to him like
Where's
being,
Emilio? Come
being
on.
comedic. Yeah.
Hot shots part
Yeah.
2. You know, it's like
Give me some minute work
Yeah.
up in here. Come on.
right.
Yeah, they do a good job of kind of wresting that away from you, though. Like he becomes like, man, the movie is basically his metamorphosis of starting out as this like super green, kid with these high ideas, and then just Vietnam just crushing that.
Oh
out
yeah,
of him.
and they foreshadow. It's like that's foreshadowed so well, man, because it's like the beginning of the movie
He's
where they
Mr.
get off the fucking
He's clean cut.
plane,
And,
Yeah.
and then they like the first thing he sees are the fucking body bags,
Yep.
and you kind of get his reaction to that, and then the next thing you see, it's like Charlie Sheen and I guess like 4 other guys that are just fresh off the plane, and then there's like 5 dudes coming the other way. And like the last guy in line looks like he's fucking 50 years old.
He's
like,
got
and they
that
make
fucking
eye contact.
Yeah, he's got that 1,000-yard
Yeah.
stare shit going on too. Like he's looking at you, but he's looking through you.
Right.
Yeah,
That's a really good scene. I mean, that's powerful.
the structure of this movie, in a way, is very typical, where we see that beginning. We're at camp, we're at whatever. It's kind of like Full Metal Jacket, where we're going through basic and whatever. We're doing our bonding or our enemy making. You know, we're finding the people that we don't like and that don't like us, or that we do get along with, whatever. And then we all get thrown in the shit together. And there's a scene where they stumble across a bunker, a village, a small like hidden village, Viet Cong village, where they had all just gotten up and left to go do whatever. And they're going through the tunnels, the underground tunnels. Willem Dafoe is crawling around in the tunnels, and he kills
Takes some fucking balls. By the way, God
he kills
damn.
one of the guys in there, and then the guy that finds the box with the maps and stuff in it.
It's important stuff.
It's important stuff, and he goes to pick up the box, which is booby trapped, and it blows him up.
Blows his fucking
Blows
arms
his
off.
arms
and you do
off.
see that.
Yeah.
They do show that. And that's also a really important scene, and why I think that like this movie does such a good job at fucking character, because it's like Barnes is an awful person.
Awful
Yeah.
person.
But-
Just a shithead.
But he's like portrayed like you get some humanity, because he's fucking shook by that.
Yeah.
That dude lost his fucking arms and died. And it's like there's a scene where like Taylor makes like awkward eye contact with him, because Barnes is having like a real fucking human moment. He's not like he's not
the facade is cracking
Right.
there.
Like his face.
yeah, because he's been shot 7 times.
Yeah, he's definitely been cut up. Yeah.
So yeah, I like this movie like way more than I thought I was gonna like it.
I thought you would probably like this movie.
I thought it was really well done.
I didn't know how
I'd
you
never
would feel
seen it.
about it.
Yep, I
because
liked
it's
I liked
harsh,
it,
But the other thing that I wanted to mention, because you mentioned that it got like for sound. I know sound and music are like different categories. I feel like they used music super well in this movie. Like there are some scenes where they like really hammer home how heavy it is with the score.
Operatic almost.
Yeah, man.
A lot
The
of tropes
Burning
suddenly made
Village
sense
and-
after I watched this movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
With the music and stuff like that you see in every other
Yeah.
fucking like
I was gonna, I could not help but draw parallels to Tropic Thunder the entire time I was watching this, because so many of those characters are mimicked.
Right.
But the way that it made me appreciate Tropic Thunder that much more, to see just how hard they went at Platoon, and not in a bad way. It was like you could just tell that
it was respectful still.
Yeah.
But it was funny.
Caricatures of these characters, basically. But the village scene really fucked with me. That was real bad. That was real bad, Clark.
It's really bad. Yeah, it's fucking hard to watch.
It's not quite like Predator.
No.
Very, very different village scene.
Very
Yeah.
different
Both of
village
these two
scene.
movies take place in the jungle with like guns and stuff.
That's how we
But
got here,
there
actually.
is-
Because of that.
well, they are very different.
They are very different.
I just, oh man, I don't want to even really. They end up burning this village, but Barnes, Tom Berenger's character,
He's the fucking worst.
kills
But see,
a woman right in front of her daughter and husband. And
he is such a great character though, because it's like you can see why the soldiers respect him, and it's tough because it puts you in a situation where
Right.
it's like him
The
and,
guy-
and Elias. You can see why both of them would be admired,
Yeah.
right? And it's kind of like whichever one you kind of align with says a lot.
and you
about
see that
you.
you see that in the
Yes.
in the other characters.
Yes,
like
you
you
do.
can tell which ones are like
Because when they get in
loyal
the
to
fist fight, you
Elias
see him separate,
or loyal
onto
to
sides
Barnes.
and-
Yeah.
they're very divided, right down the middle.
Barnes is a survivor, so it's like
Exactly.
I can't really blame like a fucking 18-year-old
No,
who's like I'm gonna
no.
live and go home. You
That
know
guy,
what I
yeah,
mean?
that guy's keeping you
That
alive.
guy is gonna keep
that
you
guy's
alive,
a
unless he
fucking
shoots you himself.
psychopath. He's a fucking psychopath, but he is keeping you alive. And like, no matter how much you may hate him, you have to at
Do you
least
need
respect
him to
that.
survive in this sort of world?
And
Yeah.
the Lieutenant Wolf does not give a shit, and that
Man,
doesn't help.
fuck
you know
that
what I
guy.
mean?
That's a-
because it's like if he gave a shit, then I feel like
Yeah.
Barnes doesn't have that power that he
He doesn't.
did.
No, not at
Because
all.
they
The guy
can't-
from Desperate Housewives gave a shit.
Is that what he's from?
Yeah.
That guy, the second lieutenant or the lieutenant?
Yep.
Oh no shit! I didn't know he was in there.
But he's like kind of in a way worse than Barnes.
Right, because he's inept.
Yeah, because
he
he's
doesn't.
he's disconnected.
He's
yeah.
scared. He's inept. He's a delegator. He doesn't really know what he's doing. Like when he called in a howitzer attack and called the wrong coordinates, and the fucking bombs, the mortar shells started dropping on their men, like in the middle of this battle, and it's like. Barnes comes over and is like, what the fuck are you doing? Where did you call these coordinates? And he takes charge because it's like, you are a fuck up, man. You shouldn't
Well,
be here.
and I can
That's-
see people respecting that.
That's
Yeah.
a really
You know?
weird. That's something I've always found very strange about the military.
I
it's
said
like
howitzer.
this.
It's not howitzer. It's mortars.
Oh yeah,
I said
yeah.
howitzer.
I didn't even think about it. The relationship between like officers and enlisted is very, very strange because you do end up in these situations where you have a Barnes and an Elias who are. I want to think Barnes was like an E7 or something. E7, I think, which is like a very high-ranking enlisted person, non-commissioned officer, but a commissioned officer still outranks him, even though like the lowest commissioned officer outranks the highest enlisted officer, even though the enlisted say officer, they're not officers. The enlisted non-commissioned officer may have a ridiculous amount of experience.
Yeah.
And like you see that there, I mean, you see it in just the regular military too, but it's really, magnified in this context.
Yeah.
This fella knows what he's fucking
And-
doing.
Yeah, exactly.
And
And
this guy
and
is-
that's the thing that lieutenant could like call him up for insubordination or do this, but he's going to lose the respect of all of those men who followed him.
Yep.
Like he's also, and he himself knows he is not qualified to be making a lot of these decisions.
Yep.
And that's just like, I to this day do not really understand why it's set up that way.
Yeah.
Like, but it is, and you see that because like I remember my dad was he was drafted. He like was officially drafted, was put on a bus, was going to basic training when they ended the draft.
Same. My
Wow.
dad did too. He
Really?
got the letter, but it was like literally the next day the draft ended and either the war ended or the draft ended and he didn't have to go.
I remember my dad being like, Henry Kissinger is a son of a bitch, but he saved my life. And I was like, wow, that's
pretty deep.
Interesting because he ended the draft.
Right.
And it just happened to be
Not
while
many
he was
people
on
can
his
say
way to
that about Henry Kissinger.
Owensboro, Kentucky to go to basic training, probably in Knox. And yeah, it's just, I don't know, man.
The guy who trained me and recommended me for my director position was an E9 in the Air Force.
Fuck.
And the shit that he would like telling me the shit he had to do for young officers and how much he fucking hated these motherfuckers. Like had to polish treadmills and shit and like set up their like it was almost like rock stars lists for concerts that they have to have, like
Yeah.
he had to have a
M&Ms.
box.
Yeah.
He had a bowl of green M&M. Yeah, like this shit. Like, yeah, I mean, and he earned his stripes, like as an E9. Like he was
E9's the
a fucking
highest
man.
enlisted rank
Yeah.
you can get. Like,
Yeah.
that is.
So it was
wild.
just, yeah. He was some of the shit. It's like, man, I'm glad I never. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
The crux of this movie is essentially that Elias once and tells on Barnes for
for
war crimes.
war crimes,
war
yeah,
crimes he committed in the
straight
village.
up fucking
And I love
war
that
crimes.
scene where like Elias shows up and he's like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah.
And it's you can tell like immediately. It's like, okay, this is going to be the main conflict
Yeah. Yes.
in this movie.
Well, and so then we move forward a little bit to the big final battle in the movie where at one point Elias has scouted ahead. He has discovered that there's an entrance to a tunnel down here that would ultimately end up being a little bit farther away from the actual main battlefield. But he knows they're going to use that as a flanking point. He knows that they're going to get in the tunnel on the other end, come out behind them, and have them pinched in. And so he decides, he goes and he says, I'm going to take a few men with me, and we're going to go down there, and I'm going to cut them off before they have a chance to flank us. And they do that, and then the real shit hits the fan, and the main battle goes absolutely off the fucking rails, and they end up having to drop napalm. But while Elias is out doing that, Tom Berenger's character, Barnes, goes after him they got to get out of there. They're trying to evacuate.
Right.
And he says, well, I'll go get Elias. And
And Taylor's like, "I'll go with."
No, I'll go.
Yeah.
And Elias is off
And Taylor
running.
goes anyway, though. doesn't
No.
he? Or am I thinking?
No,
doesn't.
he doesn't.
Okay, it's like I said,
He
it's
sees
been
him
a
from the
while.
helicopter later.
That's right.
Yeah, and we get this scene of Elias has successfully gotten in their way and is gone off. He is running rogue through the forest, just killing Viet Cong left and right, just solo in this fucking game. And at one point, Tom Berenger's character Barnes shows up, and when Elias sees him, it's a terrible moment because
it's
when
a
Elias,
great
because he
scene.
it is.
smiles.
And
He
Elias sees him, he
fucking
smiles at him like, "Hey,
smiles.
we got him, we
relief.
stopped them."
Yeah,
And
because at
then
first he doesn't know
No.
who he is, and
Right.
then he recognizes him as
he's relieved.
he's relieved, and he
then-
smiles, and then they cut close on the eyes, and then you see his fucking
His smile
eyes
drop. Yeah.
And then Barnes shoots
And then
him.
Bart shoots him.
And so they're evacuating. Then the napalm happens, which was just fucked up. But after the napalm falls, and before that happened, Barnes is back in the shit. There are Viet Cong everywhere. They're all getting shot and killed, and just everything is they're being overrun.
Yeah.
And it's to the point where there's not going to be an evac. He even calls the captain or whatever and says, "We got to fucking get out of here." And the captain's like, "You're going to get in your hole and you're going to fight because there's nowhere for you to fucking go. They've surrounded us." And so they're doing all this stuff and fighting and killing. And in the heat of this battle, Barnes almost kills Charlie Sheen's character. And right as that napalm falls and it knocks him out, the napalm hits and it knocks him out.
And napalm sucks so bad in Worms Armageddon.
Yeah, it is. It's as bad
Need
as
like
you
a
think.
sheep or something.
Yeah, they need to be throwing carpet bombs and sheep and
Ninja rope.
but ninja rope and homing pigeons. Why are there no homing pigeons in Platoon?
Right? They left that out. It's crucial. Anyway, after that happens, the next morning, Charlie Sheen wakes up and he's shook and he picks up an AK-47.
Miraculously alive.
Yeah, miraculously alive. Everyone else is just cooked. There's a literal just river of bodies of charred, dead Viet Cong, and fucking. He picks up an AK and starts walking back to camp or whatever, and he sees Barnes has somehow managed to survive as well.
He's crawling.
He's crawling away, and Barnes is like, "Call a medic," and he just doesn't say anything to him. And then Barnes looks at him and says, "Do it."
I love that.
And then immediately,
No hesitation.
he shoots him 3 times in the
Yep.
chest.
I love
and John
that.
and I were talking about this earlier. It was even better because he used an AK-47 instead of one of the.
An M4.
They won't pull
Instead of
any
the-
5.56 slugs
Right.
out of Sergeant Barnes.
He was
They will
killed by
find
the
enemy.
enemy.
rounds in Sergeant Barnes.
So now we're starting.
So
to see,
scot free.
Yeah.
Technically, that's an order, right?
Yeah, do it.
Do it.
yeah.
It was an order from a superior.
I have a question though, and I don't know if you noticed this because shortly after the scene, another platoon comes through and gets him and rescues him, right? And on the personnel carrier, I couldn't make out the flag, but the flag that was on that vehicle it looked like a.
It's like Australian or something. They were.
No, to me it looked like a fucking KKK flag, like with a fucking swastika in the middle. I
didn't
just
notice it. I
barely
didn't
got to
see it.
look at it, but it looked like
yeah.
weird. It was weird, and I've been meant to look that up, and I forgot. But I don't know what flag that was, and I'm hoping it wasn't my imagination.
Could it maybe have been like I'm trying to think, because it's like the swastika, like that has like religious background to it. So I'm wondering if
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
it was like a Thailand thing or something. I don't know what their involvement was.
It's
I know
possible,
they border.
but I don't know. I'll have to
Laos.
look it up. But
I don't know.
anyway, yeah. Oh, and then the one dude that was hiding in the foxhole, he sees that the rescuers come. He stabs himself in the leg.
Right.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
That is. Yeah, that I was telling him earlier today. That is like my favorite line in the whole movie. Is the "I'm gonna see you back home, boy. We gonna get high." That shit.
And I didn't mean to go into a monologue about the plot of this movie, but
No,
it was
no.
very.
It's great. I'm glad you did.
It's important because I feel like our younger generation might not be inclined to watch, but I think everyone should see Platoon
Yeah.
once. I think that will give you a very, very accurate depiction of the way that war was and why it was so bad.
Well, and that's another thing that I was going to mention is just the drug den. Like when they go in and they've got the tents and they're, smoking weed and I think also doing opium.
There's
of some
heroin.
kind. Yeah, heroin.
Why'd you
and
look at
opium.
me?
Because you take all
the
those
opium
Ambien.
master?
Yeah, because
Oh,
all the
okay.
heroin that you do.
Fucking opium lord over here. Tyler, what were they doing?
You've got this pharmacy you take before you go to bed. We thought you might know.
Sure.
But no, like
Yeah, if they had a pharmaceutical bitch, I'm your man.
I think it's very interesting to point out that, like, even during this war, it was very easy for them to get drugs. Like, and that was like a lot of these guys' very first, like back in the States, they never encountered this kind of shit. But here they're all like, yeah, put this shotgun in your mouth and I'm going to get you fucked up. And it's so weird.
Isn't there a line in
Have
the
you
movie?
ever smoked like that, John, out of the barrel of a gun?
No, not out of the barrel of a shotgun. I've never smoked, Tyler. I don't know what you're talking about.
I feel like Barnes even says a line about like where they're getting the drugs from or something, right? Because like,
Yeah.
doesn't he like imply that it's like from I feel like he implies something about like where they're getting it from, and
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure some money was changing hands, like within the military, probably.
Well, that and I mean, Da Nang, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to be able to buy
It's just
it.
everywhere,
Right.
and there
Yeah,
was no
everywhere.
like laws against it in Vietnam
Nope,
at the time.
not
So
really.
it was just like, hey, I grew this. You want it? I'll sell it to you.
During the Vietnam War, soldiers primarily consumed 3 substances: alcohol, marijuana, and heroin. So
Yeah. See, one of those is different than the other two.
yeah, marijuana's the gateway drug. You're right.
Oh yeah.
there's a great line in this movie I love that Elias gives. It's when it's like a rare peaceful moment in the movie where like he and Taylor are like out at night and they're looking up at the stars, and Elias is talking about I love it. I love this place sometimes, and he says like the stars, there's no right or wrong about them. They're just there.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like, fuck, man. I love that.
Yeah.
It's great. He's a great character.
He really
is,
is.
man.
I've always loved Willem Dafoe, and I loved him in this
Well,
too. You know,
He's so good in this movie because he's a good character in a really fucking shitty situation. You know, like and watching him sort of negotiate that is very entertaining.
But was it like this movie, like Tom Berenger was supposed to be like the next huge actor after this movie, and then like he spiraled into drug addiction and just
Was this
disappeared
before or
afterward.
after Major League?
this would have
was
been
right?
before
Was this
Major
before
League.
Major
I'm pretty
League?
sure because I
Okay.
think it came out. It probably would have been the next movie that came out with.
Yeah, I want to think it was like 87.
And they were both
or
in it.
something like that.
They were both in it. Tom Berenger and Charlie Sheen.
Oh yeah, yeah. Damn, I
that's
never
weird.
even fucking put that together. Taylor is pitching to Barnes
Yeah. Yeah.
in Major League.
Yeah, Major League was 1989.
89. Okay,
So right around the
so
corner.
3 years. Yeah.
The year that this game came out. No, it was 88 that this game
when
came out.
we get out of this shit, we're doing a goofy baseball movie together.
Hell yeah.
What
one
are
of
you
the
gonna do when
best-
you get home? Make a goofy ass
I
baseball
think you
movie.
mean I think you mean the best baseball movie.
You're
It
right.
is.
So
You're
good.
right.
It is the
So
best
good.
baseball movie.
Rookie of
Like,
the year's up there too, but
it's
yeah,
not.
Major League.
Bull
not.
Durham. Bull Durham is a great fucking baseball movie, but Major League is better. I'm sorry.
I made the mistake of rewatching Rookie of the Year maybe a few
I've
years
never-
back.
yeah, I never
don't know why I
watched
made that decision, but I regretted it. Because I remember that movie being way better.
Hey, Major League's still good.
Hey, I rewatch Major League probably like once every 4 years. So
Get that.
hell yeah, man.
There was an Apocalypse Now video game in production,
For what platform?
PS4.
Okay, that
What?
makes sense. That does.
Okay,
make
that's a
sense
little
that they would
more-
do
yeah,
like
okay.
as a
It
modern
started production
thing.
in 2010 and then
I don't
went through 2017 when the studio went bankrupt. They started a Kickstarter. It raised a bunch of money, but didn't
I
go
don't
anywhere.
even know
Now it's
how you
dead on the
make
vine.
a fucking video game.
I need to.
There's a
I
trailer
need to
for it.
watch
But then again, somebody made a fucking Platoon video game. So
They tried.
or they tried.
They
Yeah,
tried.
there you go.
You're right. An attempt was made.
Mm-hmm.
Please tell me more
Do we have a letter?
about
I do.
the 1988.
Okay, so we got to play the Platoon
NES game.
the reminiscent theme while you read the letter.
Oh, I'm in the wrong.
Read it like a jaded Vietnam War vetty.
No.
Good call.
No.
Good call.
I'm not, I can't do that.
Civil War is far enough. I feel like we can do that.
That's a bridge
Nobody's
too far.
live from the Civil War.
Okay, so
I don't want Barnes to show up at the fucking TADPOG studios.
this is going to be a pretty long read because this apparently didn't have an article or review.
Oh, okay.
Brad Zenelord
Lord
from Arizona writes, Hello. We watched Platoon in a current events class I had in high school. Why were you watching it in a current events class in high school?
Good question.
Were you in high school?
You're being
in
brainwashed.
1968.
The year is 1968, children.
I think that might have been what we would have called social
What
studies.
was
Yeah.
the year? Did they say what year this movie was? It 68?
I think it was 68.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Vietnam ran all the way to like 75.
73, I think,
Was
is
it
when
73?
Vietnam ended because I was born that year. And that's why the war ended, because I was born.
Right.
Thank you.
Right, as it makes
You're
sense.
welcome. All right. I got to read this. We're short on time, and this is a very long letter. We watched Platoon in current events class I had in high school. No, I wasn't in high school, and Vietnam was a current event, so I don't know. I should have read ahead. So I don't know why we watched it. When Willem Dafoe hit, it's because the teacher didn't want to fucking do anything that
yeah,
day.
sure.
Yeah.
I don't blame them.
Good. But it's weird that they watched this in high school. But
I wish
Well,
I
here's
would've
a
watched it in
story
high
about
school.
morality
been fine
for,
with it.
for my students.
Yeah.
You know, like
when Willem Dafoe hit the famous pose that's on the game box art, the teacher started ugly crying. She also had started sobbing at the climactic scene of Gallipoli, a World War I movie, and not a current event. I think that teacher just wanted us to watch movies so she didn't have to do anything.
Yeah, there you
Brad
go.
and I are on the same wavelength. For the review, we're going to do something a little different this week because Platoon comes from before when magazines would review NES games, but this is still a retro review because it's so old. It comes from a GeoCities website.
Oh, no.
Apologies for the references.
Oh, no.
Apologies for the references to images, although image links are broken. It's also a reference to the keyboard, which means the guy played it with a keyboard instead of a gamepad, which might explain some of his problems. From the Jim Smith archives, here's a review of Platoon for the NES. I'm stopped up. I apologize.
No worries.
I think we can agree that the Vietnam War was a traumatic, wasteful mess, but I think we can also agree that it produced some very cool stuff. Apocalypse Now, Full Metal Jacket, and plenty of good video games. It's hard to go wrong with as subject material. So how is it that one of the first Vietnam-inspired games is a totally infuriating piece of shit?
Oh, tell me how you really feel.
The game is loosely based on
Jim?
Oliver Stone's Platoon, a film filled with dirty guerrilla warfare, murder, torture, gang rape, and other fun stuff. In 1988, Helmdale Film and Sunsoft decided this would all make a super
Yeah.
Nintendo game.
Of course
and
they did.
Platoon was born. The objective of the game is, well, I'm not too clear on the objective of the game.
Right.
The truth is, I've never made it past the first screen, let alone the first level. I'm not ashamed to admit that this game severely kicked my ass. As you can see, the interface is fairly simple. In fact, I don't think morale does anything, and it's always low anyway.
Yeah.
And there's nowhere to pick up ammo.
I can
so the
tell you
only
what
one-
it
It's just a
does.
lesson. That's all it is.
there's nowhere to pick up ammo, so the only one to watch is the hits counter, denoted by gory bullet holes. What is it for?
If you shoot villagers, your morale bar goes down.
Oh.
Ask me how I know.
Yeah.
I
You thought a villager was a bad guy.
I sure did.
Girl,
And-
same.
Yep. And then a message came up. Don't shoot villagers. I was like, I didn't mean to. He scared me.
Yeah, they pop out just as abruptly as the soldiers.
So in that regard, I'm not gonna. This is not a joke. When that happened to me, I was like, well, that definitely happened over there.
yeah,
Like
Yeah.
1,000%.
This is some realism.
I feel like I'm Oliver Stone.
Yeah. I should make a movie about me playing Platoon.
Yes. This will be the ugly cry moment when you get scared and accidentally kill a villager.
Sea Lord's teacher.
You play as an anonymous GI as shown to your right. Oh, I guess it's probably the main character of the movie, Private Chris Taylor, who's played by Charlie Sheen. But that doesn't help much when the character's face is kind of made up of about 8 pixels. Besides, I was distracted by the khaki uniform. He's dressed for the wrong war. Whoever he is, your character isn't much of a go-getter. He can walk along leisurely. He can take a half-hearted jump, and he can crouch.
Hey, he could jump over bullets, so
can.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yep.
His rifle shoots bullets about the size and color of his fist. And this is your opponent. Examine him carefully because this is the closest look you'll get all game. And there's a picture in the magazine article, apparently. Compared to you, he's a god. He runs faster. His handgun is as powerful as your rifle. And he has some weird Viet Cong spidey sense that lets him pop out in front of you wherever you might be. Not only that, but he can also leap out of trees and climb out of underground burrows. Summary, you're in big trouble. I mean, Look at this. And there's another picture. This show, so, I'm starting to think that this is a very accurate depiction of the Vietnam War.
Dude,
because it's
when
people
I
are like,
fired
this
it
game
up-
sucks. I couldn't do it. I kept dying. It's like, like in the Vietnam
Yeah,
War.
like 55,000
I was not prepared
people
when I
were
started the game
involved in
because
the
it's like
Vietnam War.
immediately a dude dropped down on me from trees. And I was like, what?
I got game over in probably about 2 minutes.
I
The
mean-
very
Yeah.
first start. Yeah.
It was a rough start.
This shows another terrific feature of the game. The VC spawn directly above or below your head. Private No Name will be strolling along, and all of a sudden, the commie will take a flying leap from one of those droopy jungle trees and land right on him. There's not even rustling of leaves to give him away. Unless you have a reaction time of about -2 seconds, you're screwed. There's no way to speed up your character. He can be completely surrounded, and he'll still stroll along like he's at the carnival. You can plead, you can threaten, you can beat the keyboard with both fists, but he'll keep moseying until he gets bayoneted right through his lazy gut. Pathetic. Consequently, for most of the game, your character will be lying dead on his soft capitalist back. I like this guy.
Wow.
I like this article.
I wasn't expecting that.
savage.
The VC guys. The VC guys have perfect.
Something a Klingon would say.
The VC guys have perfect accuracy too. Even if you shoot them and get a direct hit, they'll shoot at the same instant. They die, but the bullet continues on its merry way, and you end up dead as well. The solution then is to run away, right? Not so fast, soldier. The entire jungle is booby trapped. One wrong step and you land on a tripwire, which will blow Private Failure to smithereens, as shown in the above image. In theory, you can jump over them, but that signals Charlie to jump out of the trees, guns blazing. Basically, the tripwire means that you will die at least 3 times in a row. Considering that 4 hits is the end game, your odds are not good. Even if you understand the central fact that you cannot win, this game will make you angry. Furiously, keyboard snappingly angry. No matter how many times you get owned by some VC thug jumping out of the tree, you'll think there's some way to escape. Eventually, I figured I would be safe just standing in place and shooting constantly. But one of them ran up from behind and bayoneted me like a cocktail frank on a toothpick. Overall, in the end, the game shares a lot in common with Vietnam. You're going to lose, but it's hard to tell until it's too late. Everyone and everything is trying to kill you, and the experience is embarrassing, but you can't forget it. 1 out of 10. Thanks. Later, Zine Lord from Brad from
Thanks,
Arizona.
Brad.
Thanks, Brad.
I really enjoyed that.
That was a gem.
That was really well written and accurate article about Platoon for the NES.
I don't know how the Commodore 64 version plays. I honestly, though, I feel like my complaints about the game are different than Jim's complaints, because I honestly felt like once I recognize the fucking patterns that they do, it's like you got the fucking guy who pops out from the ground, you got the guy who jumps out of the trees, and then you got the guy who runs and shoots, and then there's tripwires, and it's like, that's it. I felt like once I figured all that out, it's like, okay, I can survive. And then what the problem became was, oh fuck, I can survive, but I have no fucking clue where to go or what to do.
Spent so long wandering around the
It's
It's
like the
wandering around in the jungle.
Yes.
The-
Oh my god, dude.
This game is like, I'll never be able to play Final Fantasy VI again and not think about Platoon, because in the Haunted Forest, that's what this game is. It's just the Haunted Forest, but like magnified by like 20, where it's like you just it's a maze. That's all it is. It's a maze.
I found explosives.
Yes, I found
then-
those. You got to take those to a bridge, my friend.
Okay, because I could never find the bridge. I wandered around. Eventually, they still got me. Fuck, man, I could not. I never made it. I never
Now,
made it toward the village.
Is
'cause
this
I
a
couldn't-
side scroller? Is it top down?
It starts
Like
as a
how-
side scroller.
Yes, it
Okay.
changes.
In the next scene where you're at the village, you find a map if you're lucky, and then you go to inside the tunnels,
Right, that's
which
a
are
first person.
Oh, okay.
You move a reticle around as as you also use the same D-pad to move forward, which is a real fucking pain in the
Oh
ass.
yeah, I can imagine.
Where it's like you
that's
step
not
forward and
cool.
then a guy pops out. And you're like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, fuck, I'm shot. Okay, up. So it really highlights like, man, we did need a twin stick.
They just wanted to, what is it like crawling through tunnels? Like, this is how difficult it is.
Yeah.
Well, and I thought that was kind of neat.
Yeah, I thought the animations were cool too.
Yeah.
Like the dude like pops up out of the water
It's
with
like
the
a
knife.
still frame.
Yeah,
but
it's cool looking.
It's cool looking, and it's first person, which is weird for the NES.
Yeah.
The fact that you find the map and it guides you through, it sucks and it's hard. And if you don't have the map, you ain't getting out of that tunnel. You just aren't.
I had the
tunnels-
map and I still didn't get out of the
tunnel
fucking
system
tunnel.
is so extensive. It's like you're gonna have a bad time.
And there's a fucking like, so you start the game in the side scrolling section in the jungle. You've got your HUD and it's got ammo. And it's like, this doesn't seem to deplete. All right, cool. I guess that's broken.
It depletes.
And then you get to the tunnel and it's like, oh, now my ammo's depleting.
Yeah.
And then that's when it turned into I'm fucking out of ammo, dude.
And there's like
What do you do when you're
find more ammo.
you
but
can
can't-
find it, but it's rare. Like the ammo drop is almost non-existent. It's weird. What I
About as
read,
freaking as you'd hope to find bullets in a Vietnamese underground tunnel.
if they were
You would think.
This is
yeah.
a perfect Vietnam War simulator. It's what they should have called it.
right, because you're fucked. You're fucked no matter
Yeah.
what. And
I couldn't find a way to. If I ran out of ammo, like I couldn't find
I
a way
never
to defend myself.
I-
Like
there
you
wasn't-
can't
there
punch
isn't
them
one.
or like anything.
there isn't a way
Yeah.
to defend yourself. You're done.
You're just dead.
Unless you happen to be able to find some ammo, which is next to impossible from what I understand. Past the tunnel scene, I didn't
make
quit
it past the
playing.
tunnel.
And but there was another. I did watch a long play, and there was a scene after that, which is a different perspective, even which is like behind the back, and you're moving forward in like a third person view. And then I stopped watching because the long play was 15 minutes, and that was at a leisurely
speed run was
pace.
9.
Yeah, it's just not a very long game.
There's only 4 stages, and it's kind of one of those where it's like the fun of the game is
it
like
like-
figuring out a maze essentially. And once you figured out the maze, it doesn't take very long.
So zero replayability then. Like
I guess it depends on what you're looking for, but yeah, I mean, for me, like I wouldn't want to speed run this game. I don't guess, but yeah, I probably wouldn't go back to it.
It's rough. It's a rough one. I didn't think it looked bad for what it was, and
I
thought
agree.
I thought for all intents and purposes, it was kind of cool that it
Yeah.
had a first person mode and a third person mode
Yep.
and a side scrolling mode.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I find myself saying, "All right, that's too much. Stop throwing features in." But in this case, I thought it was okay.
I thought it was ambitious, and I liked that. And I usually give a game points for that. I liked it enough to start making a map in the first level
Okay.
because I felt like, okay, this is how you're supposed to do it. This is how you're supposed to enjoy the game. And then I kind of got to the point where it was like, I'm just going to look a map up online because I know it exists, and I'm not having fun making this
I need
map.
to move on to the next
Right,
part, or I'm
right.
going to stop.
Because I couldn't find any codes or anything to like go to the next level.
I followed along with the long play.
Yeah.
To get through it.
So I mean, I don't know, man. Not a great game. Not a
No,
huge
it's
fan.
not. It had a couple of neat little bells and whistles, but by and large, it was a big disappointment. And the fact that they advertised it the way they advertised it to kids,
Sure.
and-
Which
Why?
I found an ad with like a smiling young teen playing the game, and it's like, I
Why?
don't think this is who this game is for. It's who it was marketed to.
the movie. What's the rating
I
on the
can't wait
movie?
to
The
go to
movie
war.
is
It's R.
R,
It's
right?
R,
Like
'cause I
that's
was
a hard
tempted.
R. Right?
I was. It is a hard R. Before I watched it, for a moment
It's
I
a
was
Paula
like,
Dean hard R. That is hard.
Not that kind of R.
just real quick, take a look at this kid
What
having a
the
lot of
fuck?
fun playing Platoon. You've seen this, Tyler.
Yeah.
I thought it was they doubled down and it was an Asian kid.
Oh
No. Now let me read to
Probably
you
not
what
a-
the ad
not a big seller.
the ad copy says, okay? Platoon just might be the most frighteningly real video game ever. For a single foot soldier in guerrilla combat, the object isn't winning, it's survival. The harder you fight to get out, the deeper you're drawn into the madness of a war fought in and under the toughest jungle terrain imaginable. The action is explosive as the 3D graphics. The tension is bone-chilling as the first-person perspectives. Can you get into it? Then get Platoon at your favorite dealer now, but be forewarned, this isn't kid stuff.
Well, I mean, they're not wrong there.
They're not wrong. They actually actively knew that it wasn't for
It
that
is funny that
child
they
to
still
play.
marketed it to kids who could not see the movie.
Game design notes that Dave sent us. Some of the notes from the developers using
from
slang
Ocean.
terms.
Yes,
Inappropriate slang.
using slurs in the design documents, and it's kind of like, dude,
You
they
realize-
used it in the movie for a reason.
Right.
It's after that. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's kind of like, I don't think it really like belongs in the design documents.
Well, and the movie took place in 1968. You designed this game in 1985.
or 80,
There's
87,
yeah,
or whatever.
it was 86, whatever. There's a difference. You
Yeah,
know?
just an all
There's a
around
difference. It
all
was-
around kind of icky, and the
that's
game was
fucked-
icky.
That's
and
fucked up.
I don't think the game, honestly, I really don't think the game, like, it is weird that a game exists that's based on this movie because
Yeah.
the movie is so serious.
Yeah.
That in it on its own is weird, but outside of that, I honestly didn't feel like the game like goes out of its way to be offensive, even though the design documents are like questionable. Because I was reading some of those and it was like, this guy must have served.
Right. He may have. He may have.
That's entirely possible. That is true.
In which case, maybe I can't blame him for being that way. But you're not wrong. The game is more. It's more of an adventure game, a wartime adventure game, and it's not graphic or gross or anything. It's just, I say it's icky because it's based on a movie that's inappropriate.
It feels like something that shouldn't be commercialized.
Right.
I guess is
Right.
kind of how I feel.
Put it on, like today, if you're going to make a movie, you could make a movie about Platoon and it would be on Steam and it would be rated M and it would be, this was before we had video game ratings, obviously, but it would be less likely to be taken because if you, I don't know, you see a kid playing the game, does that possibly lead him to watch the movie, which he shouldn't?
Well,
at an age,
right? There's a time where he should.
yeah,
right.
but maybe not.
maybe
I don't
not.
know.
And there
it's
was
just
like
weird.
There was a moment before I started watching the movie where I was like, "Man, Henry probably liked this movie."
Yeah,
And then I was like, "Oh, it's rated R." And never mind.
it's
And then I
not.
started watching it. And I was like,
and
"That's
it's
a good
not
call."
like it's not like it's a little bit violent, but he'd probably be okay.
Yeah.
No.
We're gonna get existential with this.
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. You're gonna learn about like the horrors of the human condition here. Okay, we're not ready for all that.
I don't really.
Yeah.
I don't really think there's anything more
Nah.
to say about
That's kind of
it.
it. I thought I looked up the instruction manual because I was like, man, I don't know what to do in this game. And that did not help at all. like it did not help one bit. And I was like, okay, well,
That's always a good sign when the thing that tells you how to play the game does not help you play the game.
it told me the controls of which I figured out in
Right.
20 seconds. You know what I mean? How you guys feel about that grenade toss that takes 5 seconds to execute? You fellas ever use that or accidentally press it when you mean to jump and you're like, fuck, I guess I'm stuck in this animation while I lob this useless grenade and the dude shoots me. I thought it is also a misstep that they didn't name the characters. Because you play out as a platoon one by one, but instead of a name, you're just a number.
So is
That's all you.
is
were to
there
the
like
government.
Yes,
the
man.
different? So you actually play as the different characters in the movie?
It's not. They're
They're not named,
named.
but
It's 5 nameless
Okay.
guys. Yeah, and it's like a
They
missed
probably just-
opportunity. Why not like
They probably just couldn't get the rights to use the
Probably.
names.
probably.
I'm surprised they got the rights to use the
I can't-
movie logo.
I can't believe that the people who made this movie were like, yeah, sure, make a Nintendo game out of this. Just
That was my
blows
intention for
mind.
making the movie. So yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oliver Stone was like, All right. It's
My-
about time.
Now finally my dream can come
Finally,
true.
the JFK video game went nowhere.
Back and to the left. My guess is that was a studio call and not a director's decision.
Yeah, you're probably right. They're like, how can we milk this for even more? They made so much money. They spent $6 million and made what?
Would you say 135 million?
183 million.
83 million. Good
That
Lord.
is such an insane return on investment. They're like,
Like
yeah,
Blair
fucking
Witch
make a
levels of
video
return.
game.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Guys, I heard this Platoon thing really happened.
No.
I heard this rumor that
It's
it's
just
real.
like the moon landing, man. It's just
It's
stories
5
they
guys
made
going
up.
after the Platoon witch. They're trying to find a map.
Yep. You've been looking at my achievements?
Speaking of achievements,
Are we ready for those?
You got any?
Yeah, I got 9 of these motherfuckers. You ready for this?
Hell yeah.
Number 1 achievement is section completed.
Nice. Hell yeah, man. I know what
there's
you're
a-
talking about.
I don't.
To get section completed, beat any section because they misspelled the word section
Oh,
in the game. It's section with an M. My next achievement starts to follow a bit of a theme. All the rest of my achievements, I should say, follow a bit of a theme. Let's see if you can figure out what it is.
Okay.
I don't know what it's called. I just know the sound it makes when it takes a man's life.
Ah.
Get killed by one of the following Viet Cong in the jungle repeatedly. The second next achievement. What do you mean, you people? What do you mean, you people? Kill a villager by accident. Next achievement. I don't drop character until I've done the DVD commentary. Beat the game and then talk about it on a podcast.
Nice.
I didn't get the achievement, but I got the podcast part. My next achievement, God damn it, we lost. We fucking super lost, man. And to get, God damn it, we lost. We fucking super lost, man. Get lost in the jungle, the tunnels, or both.
yeah, there you go.
Next. This is all your fault, you limey fuck. You just shit the money bed, my friend. And to get, this is all your fault, you limey fuck. You just shit the money bed, my friend. Buy this game new, sealed in the 2025 at the listed price according to price charting.
Nice.
I have to recuse myself from price charting. I accidentally saw the numbers.
Okay.
It's just corn syrup, guys. Blood flavored corn syrup. Step on a tripwire or blow up a trap in one of the huts. Next achievement.
I unlocked that.
It was like pistol whipping a blind kid. And to get, it was like pistol whipping a blind kid, give up after the first level due to frustration. And then finally, my last achievement is, I was wrong. Blow the bridge. Blow the fucking bridge. And to get that, you blow the bridge. And that is my list
tracks.
of achievements based on
Quotes from the movie.
from
Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder.
Which
Thank
I will
you.
play on
like
with my,
ChatGPT.
my,
Those were all mine, actually, believe it or
my
not.
first achievement. I'm just a dude. I know who I am. I'm the dude playing the dude disguised as another dude. In order to unlock that, you beat the game, but as the 5th platoon member.
I'm glad I didn't use that one. I
That's
was
my
going
favorite.
to.
I love it.
It's so
There's a
good.
fucking YouTube video I love where a dude like mixes that song like live on like a like on a not a synthesizer, a sampler.
Yeah.
And it is so fucking good. I'll send it to you guys.
Okay.
It's really really good. My next achievement is Platoon Express. In order to unlock Platoon Express, you finish this game in 7 minutes 59 seconds, which is the speed run record set by Red Pepper 4 years ago.
Okay.
That's the fastest. That's the time to beat.
Damn. 4 years ago.
Yeah, 4 years ago. There's a big window
That was
there.
2021.
Still COVID.
Yeah, I was about to say, someone had
there
time
you
on their hands. Hey, you know what I'll do?
There's nothing out there for Platoon.
Like, man, this Predator speed run's going to be really hard to beat. I think I got Platoon in the bag, though.
My next achievement is the Platoon Town Murders. In order to unlock the Platoon Town Murders, you investigate everything in the Vietnamese village, activating the booby trap in the process, which I did. It kills you instantly, which does make sense, but also fucking sucks.
Yeah.
And then my next achievement is I kick the map into the river. In order to unlock I kick the map into the river, you enter the tunnel without the map.
Neither of us duplicated any of the Tropic Thunder achievements.
No.
I'm so proud of us, and I had like 8 of them.
The only reason I included that one was because of yours.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Because I love that I love that bit from the movie. And my last achievement is the map says we're fucked. Anytime there's a fucking map in a video game, I think about fucking Freddy Krueger. So in order to unlock the map says we're fucked, you enter the tunnel with the map. Doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't fucking matter. You're dead anyway. That's all I got.
Nice. I love it.
Yep. I had 3 as well. First one being fuck. You unlock fuck when you die from a hidden bunker sniper.
Oh,
Because they're just there and I never know and they're just fucking dead.
there's another that
They can
reminds
even
me.
spawn behind bushes and you just.
I know.
Zip,
That
zip,
happened
you're
to
dead.
me.
Yep.
Yeah.
That reminds me real quick of another thing in the game we didn't talk about. There's a section where you actually are in a bunker and you have found, if you've found the White Charlie, the flares, you launch them out over the jungle and then you see the shadows of the Viet Cong and you have to target shoot them with a reticle, which I thought was super fucking creepy and very cool. I thought that was another really cool bit for that video game. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
you're
off. Go.
Now my next one is shit.
Shit.
You unlock shit.
Shit.
When you die from one of those falling soldiers jumping out of the bushes, just on you and you're dead. Mm-hmm. And the last one is PS.
Piss.
Yes.
You unlock PS when you die from tripwire. So I got fuck, shit, and piss.
Hell yeah.
A lot of that, all of those things was going on during the Vietnam War. He's so horny. Love you long time.
Long Tim.
It's the wrong movie. But yeah.
I know.
I want that isolated. We can sell it as a ringtone on Patreon.
Do people use ringtones still?
They will after that. I would.
I said it super quiet, so it probably didn't even get
We'll
picked
just amp
up.
it up.
Could you
distort
hear
it.
that in the headphones
If we
really
can
well?
do it for
I think
Nicole,
so,
we can do
yeah.
it for you.
Yeah.
Just turn it up.
Fuck.
Yeah, we've had a lot of practice. How much would you gents pay to play or buy Platoon for the NES? Ian, I know you're...
I'm being honest
Okay.
and staying out of it.
All right, I appreciate your honesty. John, Tyler?
I am going to give hints. No.
That's great.
I'm gonna give the thumbs up or thumbs down to say what you.
It's a hard one to kind of determine.
Yeah.
A lot of factors involved.
And I want to say it's
It's based on a movie.
Say this
$20,
was
$20.
87,
88.
88.
Lock it in.
Yeah, I'll
88.
say I'm 18.
$18 from John, 27
20.
20 from Tyler. Actual retail value of Platoon for the NES used on average, according to pricecharting.com at the time of this recording, is $7.75.
Okay.
Damn.
I kind of think it's worth it. That's weird.
Why not?
That's
You know?
weird. That's low enough to be like, yeah, okay.
Sub 10 for just about anything
Sub
is
10,
okay.
right.
To have
Yeah.
a very R-rated Nintendo game.
Hey,
$7, sure.
Question, like, you guys have played a lot of movie games lately, and not
Yes.
all of them have been very good. Where would this stack up against, say, Total Recall, Conan, and what was Predator?
This one's with Conan for me. As
Okay.
like as far as like, I mean, I think Total Recall is a better game than Platoon, and I think Predator is a better game than Platoon. Yeah, it's
Okay.
I agree with that sentiment.
it's not bad. It's just I don't want to play it again.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like
No,
Yeah.
it's just
like
I
I
think
feel like it's a better video game than Conan, but like I'd be more likely to go back and try. Sorry, Conan.
But I think it's better. I think it's more playable, physically playable.
Yes,
than
right.
Conan.
Yeah, but I'd rather give Conan another go than Platoon.
Yeah, I get that.
It's more unique. This just feels like another, just a run and gun.
What do you guys think Flopsy Jr. has to say about the game?
1.5 stars.
I feel like I am good with that.
Yeah, I agree.
My dude.
I agree.
Common. 1.5
Has
stars.
to be common. Common 1.5 stars. Are we all on board with this? I'll lock it in.
I can tell you that it's probably common because I just did a lookup on a loose copy of Platoon for the NES on Mercari. There's a lot of listings.
Yeah.
So it probably means it was common.
It was
And with it sub
$7.
10, I mean, yeah.
most of them were asking way
crazy.
more
It's
than
almost
that,
the same
which is
process as
stupid.
speed run. You don't see that very often.
Yeah.
I did find one that was shipped for $10.
Oh,
So
on Mercari?
on Mercari. So I thought that was fair. Yeah, 1.5 stars common is a good one for
I'm
me.
curious if very common is a thing. I don't think I've
I don't
seen it
know
in
if
the
this
book.
will be very common.
Okay.
But
All
common 1.5 stars. We already know the score is going to be 1.5 stars. But I don't know. Arnold Schwarzenegger's not involved.
It's true.
It's got to be common, not very common. Because, like, I didn't know this was a game. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, I feel like the very common ones have to be like,
Mario.
yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Pack-ins.
Tetris. Yeah.
Right. Okay, 1.5 stars. Common.
Yeah.
All right, locking it in. According to Flopsy Jr., a.k.a. The Ultimate Nintendo Guide to the NES Library, 1985 to 1995 by Pat Contry, courtesy of Big Dicked Pie Baker Chris Vaughn. Platoon for the NES. 1.5 star.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
Availability, common.
Got him.
Fuck yeah.
We did
Nice.
it. We did it. We beat Flopsy Jr.
I'm going to come a little
Is
bit
this the
harder.
first time we've
Hell
beat
yeah.
Flopsy Jr.?
Yes, I think it is the first
Yeah.
time we beat
Okay.
Flopsy
I
Jr.
love it.
We've got the father and the son.
Have all of these games have been 1.5 stars, right?
All of the
all
NES
the way going
titles.
back. Yeah.
That's why I fired that bitch off immediately.
Yeah.
Do you guys? I know we got Milo and Otis on the list. How do we feel about Rambo?
Yes. Yes.
I love this idea because Rambo is one of my favorite fucking movies.
such a fucking good movie.
John, come back next week. We'll do Rambo.
I will try.
All right, man. I'm glad you were able to come out this week.
You want to do Rambo next?
2 in a row
Sunday?
is tough. 3 in a row is
wanna do
harder,
Milo
but
Notice?
I'll see what I can do. 'cause
Do we do- If John can make it, Rambo. If not, Milo Notice.
No, I think I need to know. No offense. I don't know when you're going to find out. I might need to know like a little bit earlier.
I can probably let you know soon.
Okay.
Like
We'll
within the next day.
Okay. All right. That's perfect. Yeah. I just don't,
I do like the
it
idea
is
of
a Sunday early.
It's Sunday this
Right.
week.
It's a
We're
Sunday
recording.
recording, not a Monday.
Oh,
Will that make a
okay.
big difference?
it'll be in the afternoon.
Maybe.
Because
Possibly.
You just want to do Milo and Otis? And then maybe do Rambo the week after that?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay.
That'll probably be a little easier
Okay.
to pull off.
All right. Well, I'd love for you to be on for Rambo. So
My Sundays are usually kind of
Yep.
actually a lot of stuff going
Yeah,
on.
Sundays
Okay.
are rough for me
Sundays
too
for some
usually,
reason.
but I get it. So I get it.
Milo and Otis.
Cool.
Or Neko no Monogatari.
I don't know what I'm in for. I've never seen Milo and Otis.
I've never even heard of it.
Whoa,
What?
man.
I don't remember it at all.
I'm not.
Sorry.
I am not looking forward to rewatching it. I haven't seen it since I was a child. And I am super like that's another one where I'm like, oh, maybe Henry would like this, but it's like I'm not gonna do that to him. So yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
All right, Milo and Otis.
The Adventures of Milo and Otis. Is that? Oh, okay. I remember seeing this box art. Yeah. Okay.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Find the show on iTunes, not SoundCloud, not Stitcher, but on Spotify, all over the goddamn place. Got a lot of stuff going on. Most importantly, is that Patreon.
Patreon.com/TADPOG is where you go to give me and Tyler and Dave money.
Money, please.
Money, please. If you give us $5, I will brand you forever a Jake.
Not forever,
The
please.
Jake tier.
Come on, they got to
No,
keep the $5
it's
up.
permanent.
What? That's a fucking steal,
If they
man.
stop giving us $5, it's not permanent.
Oh, okay. Okay. Phew.
If it is. There will always be a Jake in our hearts, but never mentioned out loud unless they keep giving us $5. And even then, I'm only going to do it once a month. And sorry, kids, it's still June. Even though this episode airs in July, I ain't reading that fucking list until next week. So bite me. But give us money. If you give us $20 or more per month, you become an executive producer that has absolutely no power or say in how the show is produced.
Hell yeah.
But you are important enough to
Important
us to say your name every single fucking week. But you also have the benefit of being a Jake.
Hell yeah.
And if you object to me reading your name as Jake, well, too fucking bad. I'm going to do it anyway. But
Jake.
really, seriously, if it bothers you, let me know and I'll stop calling you Jake. But who would want to not be called Jake? Jake?
I don't know, Jake.
I'm going to read that list right now, like I do every week.
Though. I'm the only one that's not a Jake.
I know. You get your own identity.
All right, we're going to start the list off with Cubicle Jake, Sandwich Jake, Phil H, Jake Bug Prime, Nathan E, Matt, a.k.a. Jekyll G, Pinball Airplane Arch Jake, Chris Edler. Sorry you couldn't be on this episode.
Arch.
That nice Jake from Michigan. Louisville correspondent Princess, Jake Suela, Banana Hammock Flavor Jake, Taryn D, Jake Smith, Joey Dubs, Jake Pope Sandwich, Lord Jake, and Jake Enthusiast Jeff M. Thank you all so much for
Yes,
your donation.
thank you.
I was kind of randy and mean to people this week about this money just now. I was talking to him. I was talking to him just now like, fuck you, I do what I want. I don't mean that. I'm just playing.
You don't know me.
I'm just playing, y'all. I'm just playing. I love you. And the donations always
Playing
so
on my phone.
very much appreciated. From the smallest to the largest donation, we love you all.
Hell
and
yeah.
are very grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you.
you very much.
That's it. That's business closed for the week.
Hey, I guess want to close it out.
As respectfully as we possibly can.
Okay. So until next time,
Tropical Capricorn. TADPOG is hosted and produced by Tyler Holland, Dave Moore, and Ian Chandler and releases new episodes every Wednesday. You can find them on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and just about anywhere else podcasts are hosted. If you have a question or comment for the hosts, don't hesitate to call us at 270-883-2555 and leave us a voicemail. If we like it, we'll play it on the show and respond. If you'd like to send us something, you can do so at TADPOG Studios, care of Nicole Nance, P.O. Box 3785, Paducah, Kentucky 42002. If you'd like to donate to the show, visit patreon.com/tadpog, and with a minimum donation of $1 per month, you will get access to all of our fun bonus content. Join the conversation on our Discord server at bit.ly/tadpogdiscord. Registration is free, and we'd love to have you there. If you enjoy our show and haven't already, don't forget to find and tap that subscribe button so you don't miss anything. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week. I don't have a stinger.
Yeah, we kind of jumped right into it.
Well, that
I'm
was the
gonna pee real
idea.
quick. You guys don't need me. Trust me.
Okay. we were trying to get a pretty close to 9 a.m. out. 9 p.m. out, rather.
Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah, okay.
Just as long as I'm not getting home at 10 is
Yeah.
really my main concern. And I asked him that before Tanya suggested the truck thing. I thought I was going to have to go all the way back to the office, pick up the car,
Yeah.
and then go home. But when she suggested the truck thing, that saved me the time. So it wasn't as vital that I get out at 9 o'clock.
Right.
But I still...
Because you don't have to go back to the office.
No, I don't have to go back to the office. Right. All this is going in the stinger. So people are going to be like, what the fuck? A truck?
Why? Who cares?
A car? He picks
Why
up a
are
car.
They talking about this? Like,
What
this
is-
has
how
nothing
is
to do
this-
with Platoon.
How is this relevant? How is this germane
What?
to the situation? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go.
I have a
dramatic reading.
A dramatic reading. Do you ever feel like a plastic bag drifting through the wind, just wanting to start again? Do you ever feel so paper thin, like a house of cards, just one blow from caving in? Do you ever feel already buried deep, 6 feet under screams, and no one seems to hear a thing. Do you know that there's a chance for you? Because there's a spark in you. You gotta ignite the light and let it shine, just like the night of the 4th of July.
Oh, I got it.
Because baby, you're a firework. Come on. Show them what you're worth. Make them go. Oh. As you shoot across the sky.
You see, the 4th of July is coming up.
Yeah.
And
I see what he did there.
That's really good timing.
That's
for
perfect.
that.
I can't
Because
hear,
the funniest jokes are the ones you have to explain.
Yeah. I can't hear that song and not think about The Dictator. Do you know the movie I'm talking about?
I don't think so.
Seth Rogen and James Franco.
I thought you were talking about a phallic potato.
The one, the one where they're in North Korea and Kim Jong Un
I've heard
like
it, I've never seen it.
loves that fucking song, and it's dude, it's so goddamn funny. It's so funny. They have like two. I would think they have like 2 different scenes where that song is in use.